3, 2.
Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
What does Aldo's mama say?
Ryan Pace, you have done such a good job that I want to sit in your face.
That is what Aldo's mama said.
Hey, this is Kyle Long. Thanks for listening to the Bears Barroom. We keeping it 100, baby.
This dude right here, Kyle Long.
Bears Barroom.
Sky's the limit for this dude. He can get after it. He can dominate. That's what he does. Ooh, that dude is tremendous. Getting up on the back and he's relentless. Serving up pancakes like a biscuit mix. Protect the franchise, a dude named Mitch. So confused by a coach named Fox. He was moved and used from spot to spot. A natural born leader just like his pops. And he's killing them to control. See a little bitch, it's block, block. On the football field, he's non-stop. Get drop, drop. Let me sing it again. See a little bitch, it's block, block. On the football field, he's non-stop. Barroom song, Barfly, it's Kyle. Should've been in a Pro Bowl. Top 100 though, Hall of Fame and Expo. Kyle long, 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 long. Should've been in a Pro Bowl. Top 100 though. Barroom song, long, long, long. Song right here is by request. I keep wanting to cut it, it's always best. On big bro, Kyle did flex with a look in his eye, long devilish. So confused by a coach named Fox. Moving used from spot to spot. And that's a born leader just like his pops. Said he's killing them with the trolls. Running backs know that he's top notch. Whether pulling on a counter or reach block. Give you 100, never flip flop. Let me sing it again. Running backs know that he's top notch. Whether pulling on a counter or reach block. Barroom song, barroom song. It's Kyle in the Pro Bowl. Top 100 though. The next moment. Kyle long, 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 long. He's a friend of the Barroom Show. Always keeping it a hundo. Never peeking in the window. Got a long, 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 long. Creating such a big hole. For a guy number 24. Never know what's next so. Kyle long, 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 long. Spinning up a big hole. Guy number 24. Never know what's next so. Kyle long, 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 long.
Hey, this is Kyle Long.
He wanna cut it, but it's so
Hey, this is Kyle Long. Hey, this is Kyle Long. Hey, this is Kyle Long.
This song right here is by request. A key one country, but Cisco works best. On the big pro, Kyle was flex with a look in his eyes on devilish. Come on. So confused by Coach named Fox. He was moving used from spot to spot. And that's a world leader just like his pops. And he's killing them with the troll.
Yeah, I can, and we leave a lot of stuff out there, so it's all the stuff that we can improve on. It's not going to be that tough to change it. There's a lot of stuff that we can do better, and we see that in the film, and it's not stuff that's out of our control. We control our own destiny in regard to offensive success.
A Bears Barroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose. A Bears Barroom, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, no matter if the Bears win or lose. Yo, first, the smartest man, no tweets he's ever missing. Impossible, the mission, call out frauds with precision. A Bears 100 proof, he faces #1 adorer. Slaying dumb tweets, cross-eyed like Contora. Never one to back down to call a fraud a lemon. Wazram, no doubt, Miller's asterisk ending. Cheers, Bears fans. The fired Puerto Rican bond keeping for Chicagoland. He's the godfather, the one, the real producer. Always keeping the show together with the voice that will seduce us. Risking out a Firefox, the old timer never stops. IPA, drafts, malts, craft spark, keep takes the shots. Barflies appreciated worldwide. Canada, Scotland, England, Brazil, Mexico, and Dubai. Dr. Phil is the guy, the one to realize that the barroom needed a show with an endless shoot supply. Gone big coat fought the narrative on color, brought the Jasons of campaign for Mitchell. Now I'm the shot enough for the truth. You know your boy's the little guy. These media heads won't give us credits up to the barflies. Flies. Fuck a fraud in his keyboard, Twitter tough guys surround us. Raining truth on the Bears worldwide, barflies astound us. This is the #1 pod, that's the reality of the truth. And if you don't know us by now, Bears 100 proof. A Bears born room, they're the ones that fight for truth. Bears are alive or 100 proof, even if the Bears win or lose.
Yeah, I mean, complimentary football, that's the tale of the NFL. You get a great punt on your team. The defense gives you great field position by getting the offense to go 3 and out, and the offense has a chance to get points. Things of that nature are what dictates the game, and over time, that dictates the season. So we need to do a great job offensively at taking advantage of every opportunity we have, which is every snap, every play, and 11 guys need to be focused in and execute on the basics.
Bears fans, this is Bears 100 Proof, the show designed to talk football, talk trash, sing songs, and solve the problems of the Chicago Bears. You just heard the wise words of Chicago Bears offensive lineman Kyle Long after the debut of the new Draft Dr. Phil song, all about the former and future Pro Bowl guard. My name is Aldo Gandia, and I serve the drinks at this watering hole, but don't you worry, the stars of this nightclub act are here, and they are, of course, the aforementioned Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man in the barroom, Shane Marsaw. Later in the show, Shane will share his tweets of the week. He and Phil will pick their Bear Up, Bear Down players, and then Trey Bizzy will join us for his steak and whiskey and to preview his new Thursday night public service show, Let's Talk It Out. Right now, Shane and Phil and I are going to talk about our Chicago Bears performance at Arizona Sunday, but first, I got to find out what's happening with the headliners of this act. Shane, how you doing, and what'd you think of that new Kyle Long song?
No, I love it. You guys believe that? I'm giving Phil some props.
Is this a trick? Am I being punked?
Yeah, sleep with one eye open tonight, Atoshi.
Does that mean Ashton Kutcher might be on the show tonight?
You just got punked, motherfucker!
That was a great job in that song, Phil. That all goes all the way back to when Akiem Hicks and Kyle Long were on the show, and you promised to produce a song on Kyle Long. Now, we've had that on the show for about a month now, maybe more, and we finally debuted it tonight. Great job.
Oh, thank you. You know, I got to give credit to Bobby Bombs, the Barfly Tailgate show.
What's he sound like?
I mean, Phil, you do a great job with these songs. I don't know how the fuck you sing them, but it's awesome.
He sounds like he's got to take a shit or eats too much cheese. Something.
Wolfman Jack, remember that?
Yeah,
We're coming on to Full Phil's new song coming up next. That'll be Bobby. I need Bobby to do that voice for me to talk it up to the top of the hour. Hey, Al, real quick. On the BG Farewell song, did you remember Bye Bye?
Yeah.
On the NSYNC, I had to play the role of an Indiana I probably did it better than any of them up there. Southwest India, and I'm like talking up the songs, and then this next song goes out to Johnny Buffone. He's going out to the girl, and he's bringing her to the top, and I talk to the top. I was like, anyway, this is our show. Yeah, I'm excited about this song finally coming out. Akiem challenged me here where the stars come, Bears100 proof, to talk Bears football and all things true and real. That was keeping it real. He wanted country, Akiem, but just something spoke to me in the creative mind to use the thong song and just bring it to Kyle Long. He just fits them. It was so many tracks to harmonize and produce, Aldo. It was a lot of fun. But Bobby helped write that song, coming up with a few of the key lines in there. And then I just put it all together. And like you said, I think I finished it a little bit after my birthday. So like in July, middle of July. And it makes its debut after the offensive line. I'm telling you, when we want to run block, we could do it. I'm just knocking on Nagy's door. That might be the new song. Knock, knock, knocking on Nagy's door. We need to run some more.
Well, let's start our Chicago Bears talk with that whole offensive line and whether they can do it, because according to some of the scribes out there and people who watch tape, Lauren Cox among one of them on Bears100.com, he took a look at the tape and said that the Bears are facing a lot of 8 men in a box and 7 guys blocking, and Jordan Howard is getting hit behind the line of scrimmage far too often. He's got some 14 runs where he is hit like about 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage or something like that. So it's an issue, and Kyle Long was asked about that today, and this is what he said.
Just making sure everybody gets blocked, because when we have a hat on a hat, number 24 tends to do a pretty darn good job. And anybody else we have in there, 29, 30, you name it. So even Trey, if he wants to get the ball back there.
So that is the issue. If they can put the blocks, we've got the running backs to take advantage. We just need some running lanes. Shane, have you detected that the offensive line has not been as good as we'd like to see them?
Well, I think what it comes down to, I mean, I know everybody's screaming more runs, and yes, situations matter. But at the same time, you know, Jordan Howard facing an 8-man box, it's not fucking news. This is year 3. He's faced it every fucking year. He's faced it last year too, and he still fucking put up great numbers. He's a guy. He's a fucking horse. You know, you keep on pounding that guy, the defense is going to break down. And it's just, Phil and I probably spent a good hour just trying to figure out, I don't give a shit if it's an 8-man box. It comes back to fundamental football. You still have to run. Even if you know it's not going to go someplace, you still have to slam it up in there, because at some point it's going to pop. And Phil and I were talking about this. It's just to get away from it isn't just doing Jordan Howard a disservice. It's doing Mitchell Trubisky a disservice. Before Mr. Atoshin eloquently butchered my analogy on BHL last night about spoon-feeding a baby, I said, yeah, they're spoon-feeding Mitch, but they're spoon-feeding with a fucking shovel. And you got the greatest thing at your disposal with Howard and Cohen that can relieve so much pressure. But is it true Howard's getting hit in the backfield? Yeah, it is. It is. But look at the way that they started off the game. You know, a 17-yard run, and then his very next run, I think, for a 2 or 3 yard loss. He was met in the backfield. But just because that happened, I mean, how many of Mitch's passes are horizontal or behind the line of scrimmage? You know, Nagy, what does he say? You still want to attack, and they have to. Yes, situations matter, but they got to use this kid. I mean, he is, to me, Jordan Howard is the elixir that can open up all of this, and I don't give a shit if it's a 8-man box or not. He's used to that. He did it again. He did it with Dowell and did it with John Fox, and he can do it with Matt Nagy.
But they did rush Jordan Howard 24 times in this game, and there were a total of 31 rushes, although Trubisky had 2 of those. So let's say 29 rushes to Trubisky's 35 passes. That's in today's NFL, that's a balanced attack.
It is.
Well,
it is.
Here's those numbers I'm going to say are misleading.
Yep.
And I'll tell you why. Besides situational football, it's almost like you're setting a pitch count based on what he's getting. You can't be in a game that needs 3 yards and you're deciding to not run because you've already run 16 times or he's gotten the ball this. To Shane's point, prior to coming on the show, I was telling the guys about that third down play after they're driving. It was after they're down 14-0 and they're driving and it's 3rd and 1. They mark Taylor Gabriel short and Deion Sims is playing fullback because the fullback you decide to dress is stood on the sideline till the very end of the game. But they run a backside zone, inside zone to the back, to the weak side. And Cush doesn't kiss and get on the backer. The backer just comes clean. Jordan Howard jukes him. Again, going in Lauren's stat column. He got hit in the backfield. He breaks the hit, and he goes forward for the first down, and almost he might have gone into the secondary to score. Shane talking about the very first play. I talked about it on BHL for 15 yards. He puts his face in the goddamn safety, knocks him ass over tea kettle, dragging the linebacker with him. This is, I forget who came on was talking about body blows, but it's apparent that there's not a feel yet for not only the offense, but for Mitchell and the running game and the personnel of this offense. So the play caller, I don't think that he understands what the elixir, to use Shane's word, and it's a perfect one, is. And I don't know if it's because he wants to be cute, and this is a completely different thing. One of my coaching buddies said, Phil, you wanted a young coach. You wanted aggressiveness. You wanted creativity. I go, yeah, but I also want the chessboard set up in the appropriate way and to do, simple football rules. How do you get a hat on a hat, Aldo? As a coach, I'll tell you. Because if I asked Andrew Link, he wouldn't know. So I might as well tell him. So you go into 2 tight ends. Now you have exactly who everybody has to block. And when you have 238 pounds with that kind of vision and footwork and feel, and you get your boy out or move him out to receiver, Trey Burton, because I don't want him in at tight end blocking. He's not very good. He missed quite a few plays. So the stats are going on some of these guys missing their blocks. We got a Mike Burton and a Trey Burton who can't be lined up as a tight end and cutoff ball. Put the plays up so you could see them.
It's almost like we're missing a tight end.
Right.
But
number 87. Right? He's terrible. Exactly. But even 85, Shane, at 6'4",
yeah,
or Broniker going in there, like you said, I don't give a shit. Put Broniker in there to even up a defensive front now and you've given your offensive line who they need to block. You've given the call to Cody and Mitch, and you've also diagnosed coverage by motioning. Now, all this trading and everything I saw in the preseason, I've not seen it. All I see is Bellamy running a jet sweep, reverse fake, Taylor Gabriel running a jet sweep, reverse fake, and that's it. I don't see Trey. I just see little short motions. They need to dumb this down, like I said on BHL. Bring it back to basics, situational football. Your best offensive player is number 24. It's not even close. I'm telling you, he's phenomenal. The yards didn't say, like I said in my rant, Shane, you heard it last night. The yards didn't tell the story. His presence and his ability, I mean, the touchdown run, do you think he wanted to score there?
He sure did.
Oh, my God. All I ever thought of was John Riggins back in the day, carrying everybody into the end zone.
You know what's important to not forget here, too, Aldo? You know, you're bringing up the 24 runs and talking about being balanced, and you're 100% right. But when you're watching the Chicago Bears, you never feel the flow of the running getting going because Nagy doesn't have it figured out situationally. Just Phil brought it up, and this was something that we talked about. 3rd and 1, I just don't get the hocus pocus bullshit when you're going to run a fucking shovel pass to Allen Robinson on 3rd and 1 in a territory where you know you're going to end up going for it. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't make any. Who knows? Jordan
got the first down.
What's that?
He got the first down, though.
Oh yeah, he did. He did, but it's
not worth the risk.
No,
what risk?
Not.
What risk? The risk of hurting Allen Robinson, or what? Because the issue is,
I don't know why you want to expose him to that.
The issue is, well, you can. That's like I'm not going to play Mitch Trubisky in the 3rd preseason game because
it's a quarterback though. It's
no.
Aldo, this guy's coming off an ACL tear.
It would be like running.
Realize
it would
that,
be like sending Mitch on a fly pattern.
So you're not
on 4th and long.
So you're not going to run Allen Robinson passes across the middle because he's coming off an ACL.
It's a different situation.
You know, 328-pounders, a bunch of whoppers are all in there, right?
I don't see
What happens if one of those come clean because Cush misses his block again?
Yeah.
And then this guy gets folded in half in the knee area.
Yeah.
Now, guess who's on the show next week?
You could say that about
Mike
Tariq
North.
Cohen. You could say that about Tariq Cohen. Don't run him in between the tackles because I think
he's a running back, Aldo.
Right. That's the difference.
But that's in a shovel pass. Everybody is pass blocking.
If he doesn't get it,
it's not the same that the defensive linemen are playing the run because now they're playing the pass because it's all disguised as a pass, isn't it? So it's not quite the same punishment.
They read that shit too.
Oh, he didn't get that by much, Aldo.
Aldo, they weren't fooled. And I will say this to my point. If you have to rely on trickery in a game where your offensive lineman, I'll say 4 out of 5 guys were very highly graded in my eyes watching the tape. And they're firing out. Were there errors? Yes. But at some point, you have to set the dominance of who you are. This was a team that wasn't very good at stopping the run. I just don't see the risk being worth it to put Allen Robinson, for God's sake, running a shuttle pass and having one of these linebackers or defensive line. This kid, Mdiche, he's a very good football player on tape. I haven't seen many people be able to move Kyle Long like he was able to, athletically and physically. So that defense is a lot more talented than people are saying they are. So
I don't think anybody is saying that defense is poor. I think everybody is saying that Arizona offense is putrid, but that defense still gets respect around the league. I just think that I'm not sure the numbers are quite as deceptive as you guys think they are. I think that the guy ran 24 rushes. I think in the first drive, he had 5 running plays. That first one was for 17 yards. The next one was for -1. And then the rest of them were for 2 yards each. So he had 4 rushes for 6 yards and the 17-yarder, that first series. Then in the second series, Tariq Cohen came out and took the running back snaps, which is not a bad idea because you've got this weapon there, and so why not have Tariq Cohen have a series early in the game where you have that thunder and lightning type approach. Then in the third series, he gets a couple of more rushing attempts, but there are a lot of other players that we want to see touch the ball. It's Allen Robinson, it's Trey Robinson, it's Taylor Gabriel, it's Anthony Miller. And so you've got to get these guys involved in the game too. And it's because certain players are not executing. That includes the quarterback, that includes wide receivers who are not running their pass routes at the proper depth and so forth, that the offense is mismanaged. So I think that when we point the finger at Matt Nagy and saying, well, he's not giving the running back enough, I think that's a defective argument. We always would like to see the running back get more, but more than 24, 25 carries a game? Then you're going to risk hurting him.
I don't think it's that, Aldo. Like I said, to me it comes back to situational football, and I don't think Nagy has a grasp of that yet. I mean, even to get away from the running game, he seems to try to get so cute down inside the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean,
there's a 5 receiver set out
right
on third down or second down? 2nd and 1, 2nd and 2, and
you're talking about the one when Mitch didn't look.
Yeah, he didn't even look to his right. He had the numbers. He had them outnumbered to his right in a bunch formation.
It's a good play call if Mitch looks to the right and it's the open receiver because there's an open receiver.
But he doesn't.
Receiver. You're right. So it's not Nagy's fault that he didn't put Jordan Howard in there to barrel in for the 1 yard line. It's the quarterback's fault for not executing the play that was practiced on.
This is where I think people, you have to be 2 steps ahead. So if you're going to run that play, Aldo, then you're going for it on 4th down, because that's the kind of 7 points means everything in these games. When you have this kind of defense, like the 20-3 loss, 20-3 against Green Bay, and you lose based on an epic performance by that quarterback, that's not going to happen every week. Mm-hmm. So if you get up on people and you have this kind of defense and they're pinning their ears back and guys, rookies going in there and making plays, then you have an opportunity to win this whole thing, win this division. We'll start there is what I mean. Mm-hmm. And that's the goal right now. So that's where situational and what Shane and I are saying. It's like, yeah, cool, 17 yards on 1st down. Now you try to run counter trap, and they don't. Sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, solid, block it and run it again. Let them stop you. That is what a coach. When I look at them and I see them solid block, Aldo, mm-hmm. Kyle's admitting it there. If we get a hat on a hat,
exactly, they're gonna fucking dominate.
Aldo, every Barfly, go back in my timeline. I don't know if there's a fucking tweeter faster than me in this fucking Twitter world that I can tell you exactly every play and what transpired.
Help me understand how Kyle Long isn't making my argument. The offensive line was not blocking efficiently. Kyle Long is saying if we get a hat on a head, so that's my argument, because you get a 17-yard run, right? And then you get a -1, and then you get a 2, and then a 2, and then a 2. You can't continue to do that. We start arguing. Oh, you're running the fucking ball too much. You know.
You'll never hear that out of me. Here's another point. Let me just finish this.
Okay.
Remember how I was talking 2 tight ends? Now you're evening him up. You're helping your weakness in Cush. He misses a block. We talk. Bobby Massey on the 2-yard after the loss, the very next play. That play, Bobby Massey's supposed to kiss and get on the backer. He just gives shitty effort. And the linebacker
You're continuing to make my argument.
No, I'm not. Here's my point now. You're being predictable in what you're doing offensively. So get under center and help this kid out and change up not only his cadence, not only the formations. Start trading, meaning, does everyone know what a trade is?
Yeah.
So they're going to line up in their formation. They cannot put their hands down. I don't know if the rule in the NFL has changed, but they put their hands on their hips. They line up wherever. Now, receiver, running back, everybody, tight end could do it. Then he says, hey!
Sounds like something cute. Sounds like something cute.
No, it isn't cute.
Changing your cadence isn't cute. I mean,
he's talking about putting hands on hips and.
No, watch. Now he says, hut, hut. He's trying not only. Now everybody shifts and moves to the actual formation that they want to go to. That movement and that sound injection can not only jump them off sides, but now it forces everybody on defense to think. And what do you want defenses doing? You want them thinking. Wait, where do I go? Who do I got now? Now they've done that stuff is going to help this young guy. That's going to pop these big runs. And let me tell you, I will be honest. Jordan Howard missed a cutback for the first time I've watched this guy. There was a huge hole to the right side, and he didn't cut it.
To me, you're continuing to make my argument. You're coming up with cute plays. You're blaming players for not executing blocks. You're blaming the running back for not finding the open hole that was there. This, to me, is not as big a problem about Matt Nagy's play calling. Now, that is a problem too. I'm not saying that he isn't innocent of making huge mistakes with timeouts and play calls, but this is a total system breakdown of players still not knowing the playbook in terms of executing the plays and players not executing blocks on offense. You look at the way the defense is playing for 3 quarters against Arizona, for 3 quarters against Green Bay, for 4 quarters against Seattle. This defense is playing flawless football. Flawless, thanks to Khalil Mack, thanks to Vic Fangio.
I don't know about flawless in the secondary, but I know what you're saying.
I'll give you that. But it's the execution on this defense is so much better than the execution on the offense, and that's
always going to happen, Aldo. In coaching, the defense is always, and they have all been here too, because Vic stayed. And not trying to cut you off.
No, that's fine.
I'm saying, truthfully, you're making my point in all of this. I'm asking Coach Nagy to dumb it down. You're saying exactly what I'm saying, because that's going to help them be consistent with the block, who they have to block, and how they need to do it. Yeah.
Phil, if they dumb it down too, it's the most important player on your team, number 10. Yep. It's gonna help. If they put Mitch under center, it's gonna make him calm down. And Aldo, if you just watch it, his feet are so fucking messed up right now because when they're keeping him in shotgun, it's letting him be fucking lazy with his footwork. And this is where when people say, preseason reps don't fucking matter. Bullshit. They don't. It's precisely what it's for. Philly, when they drafted Carson Wentz, didn't let him take a snap in shotgun through OTAs, through minicamp, through training camp, and through the preseason because they wanted him under center as much as possible. They knew that he could do it out of the shotgun, but they forced him to do that. And I don't understand why we don't see that in Chicago, because it's it's so fucking frustrating. And I said, we're sitting here bagging on Mitch and offensive linemen. And, you want to talk about offensive linemen, watch Eric Kush when he tries to fucking pull. Mm-hmm. It's awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad.
And it just, that part of it just fires me up. I think they got to, Phil's point to dumbing it down and putting Mitch under center is going to force him to have to work on his feet and just slow that clock down in his head, because right now it's in fucking overdrive. He missed some big fucking plays.
He missed some big. He's comfortable off action game. Looks, the elixir comment is the word of the night, because I really believe consistency for everybody. These are the 30 fucking plays that we are going to run. There were times, Aldo, where you would be in a game or you're calling play and you're running 3 plays out of different format until you fucking stop me. That's the Bears that I want to see.
Look at the Green Bay Packers with Aaron Rodgers. They'll fucking slant you to death all the way down.
All the way down the field. Get out of your coverage.
The perfect fucking personnel to do that, and I have no idea why they won't do it.
I agree with that.
Listen, at one point, this was the point I wanted to make. Thank you. Sorry, Aldo. In shotgun, there's a play. I'm going to put it up. He never checks to his left on that third down play on the opening drive. So any quarterback checks left and right and sees they've moved up, that there's a possible blitz. Now you got to have your hot read, and the hot was Tariq Cohen out of the backfield. Under center, you're forced to turn left and turn right. Automatic. It's like, I don't know, it's like putting your seatbelt on your car. The stick shift. When you get under there, from the day you take a snap, you're going to be looking left and looking right. You're going to see what's coming, and you're able to you can get back into shotgun if you want. Get down there, help him out, dumb it down, and I really believe, I think we're all going to go here, because after watching a lot of the tape of Trubisky, I see some things that I really didn't see during the game, masked by the confusion of what are we doing in this situation, throwing the ball. And then there's this kid delivering a strike with it. He's better on tape than he looked in the game live. But let's face it, the mistakes, like you said, they are aplenty on there by him. He missed some huge plays. Again, Taylor Gabriel, deep, he missed.
Look at the third down play when he lost 15 yards on the field goal that Cody Parkey missed. He fucking dumps that off to Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen catches that in stride, and he's probably still fucking running.
Yep. I hear you. Makes sense. Akiem Hicks was asked about potentially winning this week and going into the bye.
Both guys from the song. Did you hear his laugh in the song included?
Absolutely, right at the top. Did not miss that at all. This is what Hicks said when he was asked about how cool it would be to go into the bye with a 3-game winning streak. And I let the audio run a little longer because there's an exchange here between Larry Mayer and Patrick Finley that I thought you guys would get a kick out of.
It would definitely be a morale boost, right? Not that we're not. I think one thing that Miss McCaskey came in and said to us was that the teams that won a lot of games around here were the most confident, and that's something that I've stuck with my entire career, is that you never let anybody steal your confidence. And I think that if we can pull this together and keep rolling the way that we are, everyone is going to be just a little bit more confident going into the bye week.
Did you say Mr. or Mrs.? Mrs. When was that?
Whoa, dang, you guys didn't know? Oh, look, I dropped some news on you guys. This is a while ago. I can't tell you when.
But this year?
Yeah, this year.
It was the Monday leading into the first regular season.
Thank you, Larry.
I wrote about it, Pat. Thanks for reading it.
Was that cool?
What a guy.
Is that cool to have a 94-year-old woman, 95-year-old woman come in and say, come on, be confident?
Well, most definitely. She believes in us, and that's something that we carry with us every time we step on the field.
We actually have a little bit of audio of the players asking Virginia a question. This was one of her responses.
I don't have my hearing aid on. What the hell do you want?
You sure that wasn't Larry's mom? It's getting a little fucking testy there.
Let's talk a little bit about what the Bears. Well, you know what? I'm going to save this for when Trey is on. I wanted to ask you guys what the Bears have to do to beat Arizona, but let's save that. Any other thoughts regarding this Arizona game before we turn to the next chapter?
Khalil Mack is fucking outstanding.
Oh my god,
he's good.
He's fucking like, you wait a lifetime to find a talent like that. Like, I honestly,
it's beating triple teams.
Can we pull some audio from how fired up this cast of characters were when that day? Seriously,
because or you can pull the audio from the day before that when Aldo and Mike North didn't want to make the deal because it was going to cost rapids.
I blame Mike North. Aldo was just being a gentleman, as he always is.
I hear.
But
Corey Wooten made a great point on that, though. With he's been here. What?
Yeah, he did on BHL.
Yeah, a handful of weeks, not even yet, and he's. You think if he stays healthy, what is he going to be like in week 6, 7, 8, 9?
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be scary.
I was so pissed because the All-22 comes out so late for us, and guys, these NFL guys get it. And Brian Baldinger, I tweeted it out. I just had to give him credit because I was just dying to break down that one play for Bears Barroom. I don't know if I should still do it because he did it, but guys triple teamed.
That was outstanding.
It's like I'm gonna see this motherfucker live. Like, this is the LT. Like, LT for me in Giants country, that he was a god to Giants fans. Still is. Mm-hmm. You still see that. And I said this today to Trey on the phone because we talked and he was so grateful about the ticket and going to the game with me and Aldo. And we were talking and he's like, Khalil Mack is unbelievable, Phil. I go, yeah, I can't believe I'm going to fucking see him in a Bears uniform. I'm going to buy my son Devin a Khalil Mack jersey. That's my goal on this trip. I got to get him that because he's the greatest.
Sorry, Tate.
Greatest player. Yeah, Tate, I'll tell you that in a second. He's the greatest player, and this isn't a hot take. I thought about this. He's the greatest player I've seen in a Bears uniform since Walter Payton. That is not hype. That is he's better than Urlacher. He's better than Peppers. On any day of the week, he's better than Peppers. I'm trying to think of people we saw. Now, I know Mike North's going to get his panties and his cookies in a bunch about Dick Butkus and all these. But Khalil Mack, honestly, guys, I'm not blowing smoke. I am like almost in tears going to bed after the Arizona game because of number 52, because I know finally my father had to call me that late at night. You guys did it. You guys did it. You must be so happy. I go, I am ecstatic, Dad. I'm exhausted. I felt like I played in the game. He starts cracking up. His last words before he gets on the phone. Get off the phone.
It makes me think of Snoop Dogg. Seth Rogen asked him if they're talking about smoking weed, and he says, "Do you get into edibles?" And Snoop said, "No, I can't do that. Edibles, they have no off switch." And that's what I think of when I think about Khalil Mack.
Right.
He doesn't. That was the big difference with Pep. Pep would come out and fucking dominate when he wanted to dominate, and then you might lose him for fucking 2 games where he just
exactly. Like, where did he go?
Khalil Mack every single fucking down, even on the sidelines. I mean, Danny alluded to it. Him getting the guys hyped up, and that wasn't Julius Peppers. The same way with Jay. Some guys, they're focal points of the team, but they're not true leaders. And this guy is same thing, Phil, with me. When we were watching that Arizona game, Riley and I are flying solo with Elo over in Europe, and I have him right next to me. I'm like, just watch 52. Every single snap of the ball. I don't want you to look anywhere else. Just watch 52. And it's a sight to be seen. We're pretty fucking lucky.
Yeah.
Think about if we didn't have that fucker.
Absolutely. Oh my God! All our hopes and dreams would be on 94 getting to the quarterback in 96.
Well, you heard what my mom said about Ryan Pace.
Oh yeah, she wants to sit on his face.
That's right.
Could we get a T-shirt for that? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I know what's coming up next. Yeah.
He once got on the mic at a concert and made 182 trolls blink. He couldn't imagine reading filthy-ass garbage that sweats off balls of windy cities. Andrew fucking Link. He's the smartest man, and this is his dumbest tweet of the week.
Well done. This is, for those of you listening to the show for the first time, we're Shane Marsaw. He is the smartest man in the barroom and the smartest man in most parts of the United States and throughout North America. This is where he picks out that stinky tweet that irritates, that tweet that just makes you feel so goddamn superior to anybody else in the human race. Shane, what do you got?
Well, the way that the game was going, I was pretty upset. I wasn't feeling the 14-point comeback there for a while. I didn't know how this was gonna unfold, but then our defense finally took over and 4 consecutive takeaways, and my man Cody Parkey made a fucking field goal to put us up. But after the game was over, Mr. Verified Ian Kenyon at Ian Kenyon NFL sent out a tweet that says the Bears narrowly escaped beating the second worst team in the NFL. And this is where we are today with things like that. I don't give a shit if we narrowly escaped, if we won by 30. A W is a W. And when you're a young, building, ascending team, every win matters. We're coming out of the shithole that was John Fox, and we have 2 wins in our first 3 games at this point, and Ian is a noted Green Bay Packers fan, so that settled me down a little bit because I think it pissed him off. I'm sure that he would have loved to narrowly escape Washington with a win, just like Minnesota would have loved to have narrowly escaped a win against the fucking Buffalo Bills without Shady McCoy. So whatever way that you want to win, sign me the fuck up for it. And Ian Kenyon, you are my dumbest tweet of the week.
Yep, and this from Virginia McCaskey.
Kiss my ass!
Virginia.
Thank you, Virginia.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
Well, it goes back to it alludes back to Mr. Ball Sweat, Andrew Link, saying that it wasn't a good win. The win was just as bad as the blowing the lead against Green Bay. No, I thought there's no truth to that statement. Yes, you can be upset with the way that things unfold, but you know what? It's a hell of a lot better talking about a win and
motherfucker,
analyzing the game and talking about the good points and bad points of it when you're coming off of a W. And hey, I'll take a bunch more narrow wins the rest of the season. Sign me up, like I said.
Indeed.
I I'm telling you right now, this dude Andrew Link, he was that fucking dude, you know, that a fight breaks out, he's behind everyone talking the most shit. That dude, you guys know that dude? He's the guy that says he played high school football.
He's the little
never played
jumping over the duck.
Snap.
Go get him, George. Go get him, George. Come on, you're gonna do it, George.
Exactly.
Fighting fucking ankles.
I fucking hate people like that. Like, in what land or what world do you live in that you have decided that isn't a win? It's like the whole goal. I think I said it eloquently on my rant because it's just the whole goal is to just, at the end of the day, no one looked back at that Arizona Cardinals game we won when Hester and was like, it was a beautiful win. The diehards were like, thank God we won. These fucking guys, I mean, even Brett Mailey, who analyzes paintings, he's like, that's a fucking win. Because he understands. It needed a little bit more sunshine and rainbows from the defense. What? Like, come the fuck on. Like, these frauds that teach and talk so much bullshit, they get me so amped up because at the end of the day, is Aldo going to see the first place Chicago Bears with me? Or are we going to see a fucking 1-2 team and we're all down in the dumps? That W is all that fucking matters.
Just to let you know where that dumb fucking cunt Andrew Link comes from. He did send out a tweet that said, what if Trubisky threw those interceptions that Arizona did? He'd be crucified. So what is it? Is it really good defense or is it just shitty offense that you're facing? It can't be both.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like coaching and saying, you know what, we better win versus a team that sucks and we better win by this amount.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine like that?
This is
any given fucking Sunday for a reason. Any given Sunday, anybody could win. Hello, Buffalo.
I would like to remind people who watched the 1985 Chicago Bears season or just didn't watch it and just know the myth of that Chicago Bears team. But they won several games in a very ugly fashion.
Tampa Bay game, Aldo.
And
I'll never forget it.
I can't imagine there's ever been a championship team that hasn't won games ugly. And that's going to happen throughout the course of a season for an 8-8 team or a 15-1 team. You're going to win your share of ugly games. Point. And so you have to take a more macro look at this and not be there, all pissed off about when that guy looks terrible. I'm not going to enjoy this win because the quarterback looked like that. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like telling your kid, I'm pissed off that you graduated from college because you only averaged a C. Fuck that. Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't graduate
the paper
from college.
all says the same.
It's
a great point by Aldo.
It's the Madden football. It's the Madden football world that we live in. That's what it is. It's called being a fucking stat scout. Oh, you're playing the 30th ranked defense and Jordan Howard only had 98 yards and 3 touchdowns. Well, he should have had 144 in 4 touchdowns. So it was a shitty week. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Doesn't make any sense to me either. That's why we are moving on.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's trash Mr. Link some more.
He's the smartest man. He once got directions from a young La Confora, but didn't trust him because of where his eyes were looking. Lemon guts, Brez huts, Andrew's nuts. Mess with barroom, get their manhood tooken. He's the smartest man, and this is his tweet of the week.
Very nicely done.
Shane always makes me laugh that extra 2 bars.
Well, I knew the Mr. Link one was
I got them
coming.
all in there for you.
I called Phil on the phone earlier today. I called his office and he picked up the phone doing the fucking smartest man rendition. That was the way that he answered the fucking phone, so that's what I had to listen to when I called him today. But we're sitting here analyzing everything about number 10 after the first 3 weeks, and we've, I think everybody's come to the conclusion that he's not exactly where we expected him to be. Doesn't mean that he's never going to get there. Doesn't mean that he will get there either, but sometimes you just got to pump the brakes. I mean, there were some people in this bar room that wanted Mr. Pace fired over the offseason, Phil.
What? I never wanted him fired.
But sometimes you just got to pump the brakes, and I have a graphic here that's called "Too Early to Judge" that was tweeted out, and this is the first 15 games, and this is a quarterback versus quarterback comparison. And these two quarterbacks, one is Mitch Trubisky, and I won't tell you the name until who the other one is because we like to keep it a secret and make some drama, right, Phil?
Oh yeah, it's
so,
always fun for their guests.
The first quarterback that in his first 15 games has thrown 9 touchdowns. The second quarterback has thrown 13. First quarterback threw 10 interceptions, second quarterback threw 15. 62% completion percentage for the first one, 61% completion percentage for the second. 2,784 yards for the first, 2,931 total yards for the second. 80.8 average quarterback rating, 76.8 average quarterback rating for the second one. Obviously, like I said, the first one is Mitchell Trubisky after his first 15 games. The other one is Drew Brees after his first 15 games in the NFL. And I think
you should have let us guess. I swear I was going to guess Brees.
Well, it's because I told you about this, you dumbass.
Did you? Oh, that's why.
Well, let's not forget, too, and yes, he was young, but he had LaDainian Tomlinson in the backfield. You're talking about talking about an all-time talent. So we're 15 games in here, and I listened to a bunch of podcasts, and I gotta throw some love Adam Hogue's way. He made a great point talking about Mitch and kind of alluding to what I was talking about, and I think it got undersold a little bit how much of a disservice last year really did to Mitch. Because what did he? Yes, he gained some experience, but what did he really gain from it? And you're talking about him being in year 2, but he's in year 2 with a completely different offense, a completely different coaching staff, completely different players that he didn't get a lot of live reps with in preseason because Nagy chose not to play them. So pumping the brakes on this a little bit doesn't mean that Mitch is automatically going to be a bad player. It doesn't mean that he's going to ever be as good as Patrick Mahomes is playing right now. But it's going to be a growth process, and who knows? Like I said, I just gave you that comp to Drew Brees after the first 15 games. It's not saying that he's going to end up being Drew Brees, but none of us can sit here and say for sure if he is or he isn't. I know Mike North will call me fucking crazy for bringing that up, but that is what it is. So I think we're going to see some growth, and it could be hard to watch for the first 8 weeks, and we'll get to the bye week here next week, and hopefully he'll get some growth from there. So let's just see where this goes, and thank our lucky stars that we have a dominant defense to get us through these games. And like I said, we're still getting W's, and at the end of the day, that's the most important part. And hopefully Mitch can start to take those steps.
Remember,
that's a great tweet. You should invite them to the party in your pants.
Yeah!
You remember Josh Freeman?
Yes.
Remember how
World on Fire. Yeah.
World on Fire. Then Man on Fire, he's gone from the league.
Yeah.
So this stuff happens. People have to grow. I saw a quarterback in the game I felt like was thinking way too much. On tape, I'm seeing better traits than I expected. And like Shane said, some footwork issues and things you got to clean up. Decisions he's got to make, throws he's got to make. I'm going to put up tape of him, good, bad, and indifferent, again this week before I leave for Chi-Town. But it is a great point by both of you. You have this dominant defense. It's hard to be patient. It's even hard for me to be patient because I just want him to be calm and just I don't care if he, makes an error or,
right.
That I just want to see the guy that, I understand what Adam's saying, and we talked about live. He got a lot of live reps, and he had shitty receivers, and he similar line to what he has now. There's really one change on the line, and that's Cush. And
Don't you think that Matt Nagy probably came in and just said fucking clean slate? I won't pretty much forget everything from last year, and we're
some coaches, that's their philosophy. For me, I don't know, but that's what it seems, yes. So there's a lot of thinking. Because that kid looks so different, Shane. Like, he stepped up in the pocket. Yeah. He was pissed off that he got
the confidence in passes. Aldo brought this up. You saw that Monday night game and the first preseason game. It was, I compared it to Devin Hester going back for a punt return. It got you on the edge of your seat. It was the best that he looked. And then John Fox fucking neutered the kid.
Yep.
And it didn't seem to bother him the first 4 weeks of the regular season. They brought him in Monday Night Football versus Minnesota. He threw that interception to Harrison Smith, one of the best safeties in football. And Aldo, to your credit, you brought that up. And from that point on, it was like John Fox put him in a fucking closet and said, listen, this is, not your show. And, that it's, to me, this all points back to the front office and ownership. If you're going to turn your franchise over to a young quarterback like this, John Fox and Dowell Loggins never should have been around for that process and never should have been, a part of even getting their fingerprints on the kid. And I think that's bearing, it's showing its ways right now, because I think we're kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. And at this point, Mitch is essentially a rookie quarterback. I mean, yes, he is in year 2, but I think we got to pump the brakes, and it's going to take a little bit more time, and hopefully in time it does pay off for us. But Aldo, like I said, to your credit, it's a great point, because you do see a difference just in the confidence level.
Christ, Corey Wooten chose Trubisky over Cutler. How about that, Aldo?
That didn't surprise me at all.
I was a little surprised.
Were you?
Yeah, I think, well, I shouldn't be, because I got the feeling that Corey Wooten just doesn't like Jay Cutler, period.
Well, Phil and I talked about this today. You listen, and there's guys that loved Jay. I mean, Kyle Long went to bat for him and stuff like that, but I know it's offensive linemen versus guys on the other side of the ball. But Lance Briggs, I know, fucking hates him. Alex Brown literally in an interview came out and said he wanted to punch him in the face. I mean, Lance Briggs said the same thing, so it didn't really surprise. I would have been more surprised if you found an offensive lineman during that era that would have, that it would have went against Jay. It didn't surprise me just because Corey was on the other side of the ball, and I think that there was a division there.
It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up, a bear down. It's Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. A bear up. This week, Draft Dr. Phil and Shane Marsaw, the smartest man in the bar rooms. Bear ups and bear downs of the week. A bear up, a bear down. Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man around. They're watching.
I love this song. I wish I could play it. Hey, Phil, when you come into town, one of the things I want to do, I'm going to set up the camera. You know that guy, that James Corden guy does these car karaoke? Yeah. You and I are going to do car karaoke to your songs. How's that?
That'll be hilarious.
I got to learn the words, though.
Let's do car karaoke.
Be sure you put a GoPro, look into the back so we see and you guys get fucking pulled over for smoking fucking reefer, Aldo.
I know. I handed over that Aldo Gandia drop. It's like,
what did I do with that drop? I had it somewhere. I thought I'd...
Oh, my God. I texted Shane. I pulled it right when I heard it. I go, Shane, listen to this, because it comes as a little movie. And Shane's like, dude, the way he says
fucking reefer. Smoke like a fucking ounce, smoking an ounce of fucking reefer a week.
Hold on, I think I have it. I was smoking fucking reefer.
Fucking reefer. Just the way you say fucking it. Oh, it's the best.
Oh man, I said with a longing. It's like a girl that you used to bang all the time and so forth. And you just think about it, man. I wish I could do that again. Maybe one day I will. Maybe one day soon.
Car karaoke.
I heard Andrew, I think on the Windy City pod, he goes, when I was sucking fucking dick.
trying to buy groceries.
All right, we are talking about the Bears' 16-14 victory at Arizona against the now 0-3 Arizona Cardinals. There's a lot of players to pick from the Bear down, and there's a lot of players to pick from Bear up. This is going to be really fascinating to see who we got. I spin the bottle, and it says Draft Dr. Phil again gets to begin the festivities with his Bear down.
Holy, I feel like Mike Glennon just with a fucking bottle spin. That's the last person I want to feel like.
Really?
He's got a nice bank account. Yeah, it's not all bad.
Well, this one then is going to be easy. I was preparing to be number 2, but I'm number 1. Oh, yeah. Under the sun. Oh, yeah. And as for you, Shane, you're number... Oh, sorry. Anyway, I clearly Khalil Mack...
bear down, dickhead.
No, he said bear up, right?
No, we always start bear down.
Let's start with a down. Cut this down.
So you hate Khalil Mack?
No, this one's easy for me than the bear down. Thank God.
Now you have to pick somebody different than Khalil Mack for the bear up, because Shane gets to pick the bear up.
Oh, I thought it was bear up.
I'm just kidding.
Okay,
go ahead.
Here we go.
With your bear
Eric Kush for me.
Yes. Like my guy.
Yeah, Eric he doesn't get to the point of attack. It's not a lack of effort, but sometimes, I don't know what it is. Sometimes a big-bellied brawler puts hands on hips and they kind of like, oh, I didn't know I was supposed to block. That kind of look comes a lot on the tape with him. Like, I didn't know I was supposed to get there. And I just, for a guy that's been in the league, for a guy that has strength and some, pretty good athleticism for a guy his size. It's not like he's not. It's just the mental errors on top of the finishing. like, I would always say, and you've probably heard this many a times, if you're going to do it wrong full speed and finish to the whistle. He doesn't do that. So when you have, I would say, guys that grab their mouth guard because they know they messed up, they would just hold their mouth guard. When you have that, something's got to change. Now, you got this kid Daniels. We've been asking. It's week 4. Maybe, obviously, the bye coming up, that might be the impetus. I think you're going to see Cush this week. We're all going to see him, and Aldo's going to be hearing me talk about him right next to him because I'm going to be like, this motherfucker, get the kick out block. Just how do you put your head on the wrong side? It's like, these are rules. These are blocking schemes and philosophies that don't change.
Right.
So
based on science and physics and angles, geometry, all that shit. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm going to be the loudest guy in Soldier Field. I am going to be screaming at 64 because if he gets his shit together, they really can have a day. So he is Eric Cush. You are my bear down this week.
You know what I thought could have been the issue with Eric Cush? I mean, he tore his hamstring last season, so I thought maybe, this injury is still lingering in some ways, but that was over a full year ago. That injury happened September 11th, and then in January of this year, he posted some video, I think it was up on Instagram, where he looked explosive. It was some of his practice stuff, so I don't think that the injury, at least from a physical standpoint, is hampering his play whatsoever. I think it's more of what he's thinking. There have been a lot of players on the Chicago Bears team who I think have been caught thinking more than instinctively playing, and maybe Eric Cush belongs on that list of players. Any thoughts on that, guys?
I just think at the end of the day, Eric Cush is a backup. I mean, I've said that before, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, that can be very, very valuable. And I mean, to me, it's very, very evident that let's be honest. The Bears think very, very highly of James Daniels. And I think you're seeing Cush's play go down. And this early bye week that's coming next week, don't be too surprised if they come out of the bye week and you don't see a switch over to James Daniels. I mean,
clearly
I think that's
Shane had his headset on when I just said that.
Yeah, and
he took his headset off.
Oh yeah, I was grabbing some water. I'm sorry. Did you say that?
It's exact. But see, we think alike, and people think we're making this up. We had never talked about that, by the way.
Yep. So.
But I agree with Aldo, though, Shane. Even though he's a journeyman and he is what he is, it's natural things that he's not doing correctly that he's like, get in your playbook, work diligently at your craft. God gave you this talent and ability. He's not a starting quality guard because he's chosen not to. By looking at his talent and what he could be, to Aldo's point, I remember exactly what you're talking about, Aldo. That explosiveness, and you're like, oh shit, this guy's working his ass off to be the best. There's fucking guys that never even played a down of football, wrestler, that have come in here into the NFL with God-given ability and learned and fucking busted their ass in the classroom, learning the techniques and the game plan and wanting to be great. If you want to be great, like Khalil Mack, God gave him everything, but he built upon it. He is what he is from hard work and effort. Pep decides Pep could be the best football player that ever lived.
Yep.
If he wanted to be angry every down, that would be him, because I've never seen a human being so athletic and agile at that size, and it's unreal. So, but he doesn't have that dog in him. This guy, Mac, does, and that's to the point. Any given Sunday, anybody could win. It's guys like Cush, to Aldo's point. If he wants to be great, he would help this team. But I agree with you, Shane. at the end of the bye week, I think Daniels is coming in.
All right, Shane, you have, I'm sure, other choices for Bear Down other than Eric Kush.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for me. I hate to bag on the kid more after I just essentially defended him and said to pump the brakes on it a little bit, but I got to go to number 10 here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as inexperienced as he is, watching this, after I watch the TV feed, I like to run through it at least 2 more times just to, because you always pick up on little things that you didn't see. And I was getting so pissed. You know, it made me mad when Nagy came out in the presser and he was giving Mitch credit for something where he didn't need to give him credit for. He goes, he went deep a couple of times there. Now, granted, he didn't connect, but I was really happy that he was aggressive. Granted, he sailed the ball 15 yards out of bounds and didn't let anybody make a play on the ball. But, it's ridiculous. And you saw that one when Mitch, I think I had it, Phil, I think I texted you at the time when he threw across his fucking body and Trey Boston was there. That was a fucking ball game. And that doesn't have anything to do with fucking inexperience. That's pure stupidity, and the moment is too fucking big for you. Mm-hmm. And you're rushing. You have that fucking hamster on the wheel, and your fucking brain is on speed, and he needs to slow the fuck down. And there's no reason for that shit to happen. The little fade that he threw to Allen Robinson when we were talking about when he had 4-on-3 on the right side of the field, never even fucking looked at him, and he never even gave Allen Robinson a chance to make a play on that ball.
Exactly. He threw it 4 yards out of bounds.
And then he's throwing fucking deep to fucking 5'8" Taylor Gabriel, and fucking Patrick Peterson is on him. It's just at some point you got to play your percentages. I realize you want to give your wide receiver a chance to make a play on the ball. Taylor Gabriel's not that fucking guy. He's a guy that's going to be wide fucking open. And Mitch missed him. Mitch had him. Gabriel had that one where he was, 2 steps on the guy, and Mitch just fucking didn't make the fucking pass. But it's just little shit like that. You talk about the fundamental football, the third down when he lost 15 yards and Cody Parkey missed a 46-yard field goal. Can't have that. You can't fucking have that.
Especially on the road.
Yeah, exactly. And you just see, I don't want to compare it to Kevin White. When Kevin White was out there and he you could tell and you can feel that there's no confidence. And I think that's where Mitch is. But I'm a big believer that it may just take one fucking big momentum swing game or big play to snap him out of that. It's not going to cure all the ills, but to me it was pretty easy. And as much as I want Mitch to play better, he's the bear down, and really he could be the bear down weeks 1, 2, and 3.
Well, he was week 1 from me. Who was? Do you remember last week?
I think you gave it to Floyd last week.
Yeah, but did you didn't give it to him?
No, I think he's just been 1 and 3.
Okay.
But definitely a consideration for all weeks. And I think this upcoming game 4 of the season, it closes the first quarter of the season. It's a huge game for him personally. It will, if he has a decent game where we can say, well, he definitely played better than he has any game this season. And that, I don't care what the numbers look like, but he's making good, solid decisions. He's not, panicking in the pocket. He's looking downfield and so forth. If he has one of those games and we close out the first quarter of the season with a Trubisky on a high note and then gets into that bye week, it will be so huge for him personally, and so that's what I'm hoping for. Now,
dude, that is brilliant, Aldo, and it goes with what we said. Dumb it down. Let him be successful. Let him know every situation. This is what we're going to do. This is what we've seen in the first 3 weeks. This is what they should be doing today into tomorrow. Go back, look at every play, every rep. What is he doing? What does he feel comfortable with? You sit and talk to him. Coach, this is what I feel comfortable with. I
Run
love
some
this.
fucking slant passes.
Run some slant. Yeah, oh God.
How many times have I said it?
The only slant they run, and it's almost like Dowell's back, is the mesh fake, the inside zone fake, then throw the slant. And he actually threw a really low and away ball to Robinson, who went down and caught. That guy's got some fucking hands.
Yeah, he does.
Holy shit, he's got some fucking hands.
I didn't realize they were that good. That's pretty awesome.
My God. That catch, I had to watch it 3 times. I'm like, did he really catch? He caught it.
And you know what, guys? What I think is important, while we're blasting away at Mitch here, the light at the end of the tunnel in all this is, he's had the horrible plays in every game, and like we were alluding to, he could get the Bear down really the first 3 weeks. There's been moments in every single game where we've seen, wow, that's what I'm fucking talking about right there. Like that ball to Burton when he kind of lost his balance, regained.
Oh, yeah. Aldo put that up.
Yeah, we've seen that in every single game, and I think that's important, that's there. You know what I mean?
Dude, the ball to Gabriel that I talked about, I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I forget already. But the frame rate of the camera guy, he can't even catch up to the speed and velocity. So those guys fighting with me about the tape, it's his fourth read and all this other bullshit. Like, I can't make it up. The velocity on that ball, honestly, no hype, is one of the fastest fucking balls I've ever seen a Bears quarterback throw. And you've had some Cutler was a strong arm guy. This, I got to put the play up because it gets on Gabriel. Wow. I was like, if he can fucking wing it like that, he can be into this and be something special if he calms down. So
indeed,
Shane, great point, and Aldo, great
excellent. All right, we move on now to the part of the show where we pick our Bear Up player. We begin with Draft Dr. Phil, who's already kind of give us an indication of who he's going to go with.
Spoiler alert.
Not a huge surprise here.
Andrew Link's an asshole.
He's bear down.
Yeah, I can't, I have other guys on the list. I hope Shane picks my other guy. But I always got to keep it 100. I can't be that official that doesn't throw the flag because it's happening like Khalil Mack is the Bear Up. It's bar none. He is the best defensive football player on the field. And there's some great ones out there that, unfortunately, and on this show, you'll be certain, like an airline that consistently gives you food on your flight, Bears Barroom's going to give you the whole menu to choose from. And Akiem Hicks is a great and outstanding fucking football player. Eddie Goldman in this game is tremendous. The rookie, Bilal Nichols. Hey, how about my boy that I said on this show many a time, Roy Robertson Harris? That guy's a fucking animal. Well, he is. There's a lot of talent. Khalil Mack is the head and shoulders unbelievable. And thank you, John Gruden. We had one of Tyler. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry, but he tagged me in this Christmas card that his wife made, or a card sent to John Gruden. He tagged the Bears Barroom, I believe, as well. And it was the funniest thing I saw all week, because not only did he share it and the crew of Bears fans and his family, but his wife created it because she was so excited. To me, that's the story on top of the creativity because she recognizes, as well as everybody should recognize that listens to this show, how great Khalil Mack is. And as my wife can attest, she's learning the game. It's been too many years. I got to learn the game, and you got to teach me. And I'm doing my best here. And one thing I can't stop talking about, and she could tell you, is how much I love Khalil Mack and how great he is. So bear up this week, Khalil Mack again.
And Shane said it so perfectly earlier in the show that we are just so damn lucky to be able to witness this. Phil and I will be shoulder to shoulder to witness him attacking whoever the hell is going to play quarterback for Tampa Bay Bucks. I'm sure whoever that is. I'm sure Jameis is telling Ryan, yeah, why don't you play one more game? And Ryan is saying, no, exactly. I think you should take this one. Because that is terrorizing. It's terrorizing what these guys can do. And if Leonard Floyd, can get to a level of play that, the level of play that we all have been hoping that he can get to, because he's got physical skills to be a high-quality pass rusher. If he can do that, and if Aaron Lynch can continue to make incremental improvements, this outside pass rush is going to be effing dominant. Mm-hmm. And when you've got that defensive line playing the type of ball that they're playing, it's a pretty special thing. Shane, who do you got for your bear up?
Well, I'm going staying on the same side of the ball. I was choosing between two guys, but I had to go to this guy, and I don't think that I ever believed that this guy would ever be involved in this segment.
Yes.
Sherrick McManus. Yeah, I got to tell you, I mean, you could talk about that interception was beautiful.
It really was.
And I was worried there when he did that they're going to review it and that they were going to find some fucking bullshit angle where, the ball popped out or whatever. But that wasn't even my favorite. But that fucking tackle on special teams, awesome. That was so fucking impressive. Mm-hmm. How often... everybody's got DVRs and, Sunday Ticket and all that stuff, and you can run everything back. When that fucking happened, I just rewound it like 3 or 4 fucking times. Like I was watching Hester return the opening kick in the Super Bowl. Just watching it. It was fucking so perfect. And it was a humongous play. And then, for him to, do you have the snap counts there, Aldo?
I don't. No, not in front of me, no.
Okay, I had them, but I guess I don't have them in front of me. But he didn't play that much, but man, that fucker...
It was like 5 plays in a row. He made all of them.
Yeah,
he did.
It was the tackle on the punt.
It was like
he's in there. He has a blitz. He cleans up and gets a sack. Right?
Yeah, it was something like 82% of his snaps that he played, he made an impact play.
Exactly.
Like that.
Unreal.
But they said it was kind of funny. Prince Amukamara went up to Sherrick on the sideline. They said, after he got the interception, he said, when was your last one? He said 2011. And Prince goes, oh, man, your streak was longer than mine was. That was McManus's first interception as a Chicago Bear.
Wow.
His first big one. Yeah, his first one came as a rookie in Houston, and we got to give Phil Emery some credit here, trading fullback Tyler Klutz to Houston for Sherrick McManus, and he's been a holdover, and it's a testament to that guy because every Final 53 that's come out, I've had him off the fucking team or wanted him off the team since that Minnesota game. When he was, they put him on
back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Remember the Detroit game too.
Yeah, it was that Minnesota game. That was the Antrell Roll special.
Oh God.
Game was over, and he decided not to knock the fucking ball down. But Sherrick McManus, I think he's what is he, the second oldest or the oldest guy on the team? Second oldest, I think, something like that.
Yeah, right.
And he made every one of those fucking snaps count. So, Sherrick, welcome to Bears 100 proof. You made it on the Bear Up segment, so good for you, buddy.
And we ran a poll at Bears Barroom on our Twitter account asking the question, what nickname should we give Sherrick McManus? And with 200 votes in, the polling is still open. We've got 56% for Sherrick McNasty. The other two selections were Sherrick McMagic, which got 21%, and 23% for my favorite, Sherrick McMantis. But it's Sherrick McNasty. You're going to maybe, if that nickname sticks, maybe we'll make a Bears Barroom T-shirt, especially if you give us another good game against the Tampa Bay Bucks, because you could potentially be seeing some considerable action with some of the injuries we've got.
Let's just hope he's not starting.
Yes,
we love you.
We love you, Bob.
We love you in spurts.
Start the game at special teams.
Small little spurts. Thank you.
All right, we have a gentleman by the name of Alec Lifschultz III coming on board. And let me ring him up.
Ring-a-ling-a-ling, school bell ring, ding ding bonk ding bonk ding bing. Booyaka booyaka baby Trey Bizzy. There he is.
There he is, Trey Bizzy.
What's up, motherfucker?
There he is. That's the guy I've been waiting for.
How was leg day, Trey?
Leg day, Trey?
Yeah, today was leg day, right, Trey? I follow this boy on Snapchat,
Everything.
Instagram.
Shane follows me on everything. He's a advocate for Trey Bizzy's lifestyle.
That's right. Stop.
That motherfucker sees the salad I eat on Monday. Yeah. Fucking work route and shit.
Does he call and check and make sure you got home okay?
Sometimes on weekends.
I've
been drinking.
Hey, I asked Trey to do a little homework and to come on to his steak and whiskey segment and to tell us 3 things that he'd like to see the Bears do in this upcoming game against the Bucks, and I want you guys to comment on the 3 things that he would like to see happen versus Tampa Bay. So I asked him to be specific. For instance, to see Mitch Trubisky do a better job of identifying the blitz, something that he did not do against the Cardinals. So Trey has his 3 things that he wants to see the Bears improve on this week against the Bucks, and the floor, my man, is yours.
All righty. Well, the first thing I would like to see, it's kind of been a question mark for everybody, honestly. I mean, we've all been waiting on him. I'm trying to see Leonard Floyd get going.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're trying to see him. I mean, he did all right against the run on Sunday, but we want to see him, get the pass rush up. We didn't get him to be a run stop. We want him to be a pass rusher. We want him to put pressure on the quarterback. Some people say that the hand thing is an excuse. Some people, I've heard things like, JPP got like 2 fingers on his hand. Fuck. Shaquem Griffin got a fucking nub. Like, come on, man. It's kind of funny, but this shit, man. Like, JPP was getting off the other night.
Look at Shane.
JPP.
Shane's on Skype with his hand hidden up his sleeve, like Shaq Griffin. Oh man, that's cold. I'm sorry,
Captain Hook.
I'm sorry, Trey. Go ahead.
I need an input. You gotta give my boy a hook or something, or what?
Yeah, we'll try to stay as PC as possible and just move on. So go ahead.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, second thing I would like to see on Sunday, man, is I would like to see on those short yard situations, man, just fucking give Jordan Howard the goddamn ball, man. Fuck all that Fuck all that Oregon trick play bullshit.
Was Trey listeing to us?
Trey was listening to the first half of the show.
I got everybody. I got the whole Bears bar rooms. I got everybody's room bugged.
Exactly.
I hear everything that's going on.
He was at my house, so he probably put a bug in somewhere in the basement here.
Yes, inside the fucking pinball machine.
He didn't put a bug in your basement. He left a snake in your basement, Aldo.
That's hilarious. So you want to see Jordan Howard get more than the 24 carries that he got against Arizona?
Oh, here we go.
Hey, I want him to run into the wheel fall off, man. Fuck it.
No.
He get we got 2 weeks. He get a fucking 2-week vacation. You know, it's the bye
Dude,
week.
wait a second. Stay here. Because was that you, Aldo? I don't know how more people didn't love that tweet. Was that you from Bears Barroom that said, what was it? Dick Stockton? Was he the guy?
Oh, yeah.
He goes, Jordan Howard looks fresh as a daisy. Look at him hit the hole. Aldo goes, yeah, no shit, Dick. I fucking laughed when I was so nervous about this game. That was the only fucking thing that I'm like, this is great. How the fuck did more people not love it? That was a great tweet. My tweet of the week.
That was a good one, yeah. All right, so Trey, I just at the top of the show I said, maybe it was definitely true the first 2 games when he got 15 and 16 carries, but 24 carries against Arizona is not a bad number. But Shane and Phil both made the case very convincingly that it's about situational football and not running the ball when it clearly calls for a run play. So I'm sure you will agree with them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll agree with them. Whatever.
All right, so what's number 3, Trey?
Number 3 would have to be the accuracy of Mr. Trubisky's deep ball, man. That shit, man. Like, holy! If he would have hit on like at least 3 or 4 of the last couple weeks, deep passes, the whole narrative would be different. The whole narrative, everybody would be like, "Oh, Trubisky looks sharp." Oh, this offense is just unlimited, and blah blah blah. I saw a stat today that said we were ranked 28th in offensive time possession. Now we're ranked 2nd in the NFL in offensive time possession. So we're moving out of field kind of, but it's just like once we get in the red zone or on those deep passes, we're just not fucking we're not getting in the end zone, man.
Red zone offense would be one of the things I would have put on that list, because that is a huge problem. I think you're absolutely right, Trey. In terms of time of possession, we're marching it downfield, but we're relying too much on Cody Parkey to get the 3 points and not Mitch Trubisky and the rest of the offense to get the 6-7 points. Somebody said that you don't win games in the NFL with field goal kicking, and I would like to revise that. I would like to say when you got a great defense like the Chicago Bears do, field goal kickers can keep you in the game, but it's touchdowns that win the game, and so that's what we've got to do. We've got to score some touchdowns, especially in the red zone.
Yeah, the time of possession thing gets a little bit skewed too, especially in this last game. I mean, there was 3 fucking unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Yeah. They had the fumble.
Yeah, so
then they throw a touchdown, so now we get it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So we have more time. I totally agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like the blog has watched the tape, so I think he was deciding if Mitch just puts a little bit more air on it, everything's going to be happy.
Take some air off that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Them motherfucking footballs are selling over heads. I'm like, geez, how you overthrow Allen Robinson? He's a big motherfucker.
Well, that's something. If you look back to his North Carolina days, he did that a lot. And actually, if you go back to the day he was drafted, of all people, John Gruden talked about that. He said, I love Trubisky, but a lot of times when he's throwing deep, he puts the ball out of bounds, and that just doesn't let anybody You even have a chance to make a fucking play on it.
I got a remedy to this, Shane. Tell me if you think I'm smart. I don't know if I'm smart as you. But
trade him for Quentin Nelson?
No.
Fucking Aldo's all for that. Look at him.
He's so grin.
Jerk it off already.
I got a trade scenario for you a little later regarding Quentin Nelson. We'll get to that later.
Here's my remedy. This kid from Georgia, 6'4", 219 pounds, has got a 38-inch vert. He likes to high rise and he likes the fucking ball in his hand.
You trying to piss off Pat Finley?
Essentially, he's the anti-Kevin White. Because can we just fucking call a fucking spade a spade here in the reality of this fucking guy sucks. Like
Finally healthy and they don't play him.
They don't even fucking put Josh Bellamy, get in there. Kevin out. Kevin gets a holding penalty, a selfish one. I gotta put that one up too. He's like that kid that is pissed off and jealous, and now he's gonna ruin it for everybody else type of kid. To take his ball and go home. Effort, jogging. How are you fucking dressing him? Get his ass out. I don't see it. Trey talked about great catches in camp. Nelson, Daniels, we love you, all you guys. But it's like until the lights go on and you do it consistently, it's a whole nother mental ball game. And he's collapsed. He's damaged goods. It's time to move on. I'm sorry. What is he giving you, Shane? A penalty on 2 reps? It's like now you have a guy that's banged up that we don't know. They got receivers coming in, right?
You're forgetting about when he lined up wrong and they had to waste timeout.
Oh, yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. And Matt Nagy has gone on the record and said, listen, I want guys that take what they learn in the classroom and they bring it to the football field. And what did he say, Aldo? I can live with it once. You do it, I'll pull the fucking audio on it. It's very clear. And if this kid continues to sit, it just doesn't make sense. Now, Pat Finley could say what he wants, Shane, but we've all been around, I believe, if you haven't, speak up, a player that doesn't practice well, that goes into fucking games, and he becomes the superstar, the reason you move the chains. And those showcases in the preseason should not go unnoticed. I mean, it was clear as day to me in my eyes. I slammed the fucking table. It's not even close. This kid's doing something Kevin's never done in any rep I've ever seen him take, and that's be aggressive to get the football in your hands, no matter what. And I think that will go a long way in helping Mitchell Trubisky and his deep ball accuracy, is having a big target, because we miss Adam Shaheen. That was a bigger loss than people believe for this offense.
Absolutely. And Phil, you and I and Trey, we're going to be at this game on Sunday that we may be witnessing the last game that we'll see Kevin White in uniform. I think after the bye, it's Javon Wims dressing for the rest of the season, and Kevin White will only dress if there's some injury issue with some of the players. And you might even see, Javon play this week because of the shoulder injury to Anthony Miller.
He's got to be, right?
Nelson Daniels just unfollowed all of us.
Oh, Nelson.
He'll be back. He's back.
Man, it hurt my heart when I saw Adam Shaheen have to go down too, man. I was like, God damn it, because I know he was in. He would be the fucking answer in the red zone. Just put his big ass out there and just throw it to him. Like there was nobody stopping him.
So good.
There was nobody stopping him, man.
Yep. And I had this thought when you mentioned Josh Bellamy's name, Phil. The truth of the matter is we can rightly criticized Josh Bellamy for all the drops he's had in this Chicago Bears career. But this preseason, that guy played his ass off. He played well. Trey, you and I saw it out at camp. I was out there an additional 3 days, and I saw him catch virtually everything that was thrown his way. I think, he's come back this season despite, all the Instagram bullshit with the Gucci sheets or whatever the fuck it was.
Versace. 1,000 fucking count. Versace sheets, all right? Man, his son don't know nothing but Versace.
Those are fucking nice, though, I'll tell you that. I have felt 1,000 count sheets before, and that is nice. But the guy is playing good ball, and the limited amount of action he got on Sunday against Arizona, he just continued that. So don't be surprised if Anthony Miller doesn't play this week, that we see more of Josh Bellamy because of his experience level and so forth. So we'll see. All right.
It's the first time I wouldn't poo-poo that.
Pretty weird, right?
Right.
All right. Trey, you got something special happening Thursday, 8 p.m. Central Time on mixlr.com. We've announced it already on this week, a week ago, but we want you to share with the audience a little bit more about what you're planning on doing with your new show called Let's Talk It Out.
Oh man, it's my turn to talk again. All right, let me go ahead and get ready for this. Hold on.
Talk it out.
Yeah, I do have a. It's the first episode of the show, and like I said, man, it's gonna be an open dialogue show. The whole purpose of the show is for people that are dealing with mental disorders, directly or indirectly. It's a way for them to feel like that someone actually cares about them. Someone wants to listen. There's people out there that relate to them. It's the way for us to all become connected, because a lot of people feel like they're so withdrawn, like they're away from the world when they're dealing with depression and stuff like that. They feel like that there's nobody that can relate to them in their family or friends. So they isolate themselves from everybody, and that's very unhealthy. And my whole purpose of the show is like at least once a week, you get together with people that relate to you, and you can connect with them, and you can share your thoughts, your feelings. You could message me, and any way you feel like you can. And I have a lot. I have probably 30 people that want to come on the show and talk, and all work in the medical field as far as psychology and social workers and therapists. I have all kinds of people, man, just want to come out there and help, because they feel like it'll be it's a great opportunity to help others. And they I guess they're feeding off my energy, but their enthusiasm. I had people reach out to me without even me having to reach out to them first. So, yeah, man, it's going to be exciting. The first episode, it's going to be like a filler episode. It's going to be just me talking, introducing what the show's about, people that don't know, people that don't tune in that often, people that just saw a post about it. It's going to be me introducing the show, giving them a little bit of background about myself, and I'll go through the MixLR chat room and just read and answer some of the questions, and see what their thoughts are, and just feedback pretty much.
That's great, and Trey and I have been talking a lot about the show, and it's the key thing here is that people understand is Trey and is not a healthcare professional, but it is still important that you talk to people when you're having issues regarding unhappiness, melancholy, depression, what have you. And certain people can talk from experience, like Trey can, like I can, like I think most of us here can. And that's just so invaluable. And so much of what we do when we are feeling blue is we crawl into a shell. Well, Let's Talk It Out is going to give people an opportunity to know that there are other people who have faced some of the very same issues that you are facing now, or very similar. And so Trey is going to talk about his past challenges in life. He's going to open up. He's going to be vulnerable. It's a very courageous thing that he's going to do. And other people on the show are going to do the same thing. And then in following weeks, Trey is going to have healthcare professionals. He's going to have other people sharing their stories about the challenges that they've overcome, the challenges that they are still on. And it's going to be a really wide-ranging show. And again, this show is not about, look at us, we're doing a good deed, or no. This was Trey's passion project that he told me, I want to help people. I am seeing a huge problem, especially in the African American minority communities where there are access to health care is such an issue. One of the guests that Trey is going to have on in a future show is somebody who has done research into the area of lack of resources available for African Americans and Hispanics. And so that person is hopefully going to provide a path to helping people of color find some help. And so I'm really proud of the amount of work that Trey has been putting into this. And it's been about researching guests. It's been about talking to people. It's been about the production aspects of the show. And so this is going to be something really, really special for people. Not for the Bears Barroom, but for people. But having said that, I am very, very proud that Shane, Phil, myself, Bears Girl, Mike North are all associated with this and giving you the platform to go out there and deliver your message. So very proud of you, brother.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. But like I said, man, I talked to it, with my mom. She actually posted about it, and I told her, I said, like you said, I just want to help others. It's not about me. It's not about reaching out to. It's about me reaching them and helping them out. I'm not the kind of person that want glory or people to congratulate me. I told somebody, they said congratulations. I said, what are you congratulating me for? I haven't done shit that deserve a congratulations. I'm just trying to help people out. I don't care about none of that. Like you said, it's not, oh, look at me trying to help people.
I shared with Trey a video that was produced, I think it was by the Miller Brewing Company, where they had a couple of drivers who were doing a run. And these guys were in their truck, and all of a sudden they're going by a bridge, and they see somebody on the ledge of the bridge. And it was clear that this guy was going to jump. And these two guys got out and started talking to the guy and spent hours talking to him, trying to get him to come down, trying to get him to look at the better aspects of life and so forth. And when I saw that, it was so inspiring, and I immediately thought of Trey. I got to share this with Trey because this is, in essence, what he's doing. He is figuratively talking people off the ledge because many of us have been in that situation where we're just like, what the fuck, man? Nothing goes right for me. Nothing. And we get so frustrated that, even if it's for a nanosecond, we think about doing the worst thing possible. And so Trey and the cast of people that he's going to be bringing on over the weeks, look at that. Who's popping open a beer? Is that Trey?
Gotta be Trey.
No, that's got to be Shane over there celebrating for me, man. I appreciate that.
I was going to tell you congratulations, but I don't want to get you pissed off, Trey.
Shane's over there popping seltzer water and shit.
Grape flavored water.
Sparkling water.
That's
grape flavored?
Yeah.
That's your choice there?
Those are fucking disgusting, man. Honestly. If we're gonna be
does that have like a little bubble to it, or it's just flat?
I like my water tasteless.
You like your water tasteless? I like sparkling. I like sparkling water with Tito's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Little Tito's vodka in there.
Yes. So, Trey, we're going to see some football Sunday?
Oh, yeah, man. Like I said, I thanked Phil earlier on Twitter. I'll thank him again, man, for getting the ticket and just thinking to give it to me. I didn't plan on doing anything on Sunday but eat pancakes and watching the game, but I guess I guess the pancakes can wait because we're going to be at the actual stadium watching it. So,
well, you can always wake up early and make yourself some pancakes. So.
Man, I ain't waking up early. I wake up early every day.
Can you get a "Can we talk" flag and streak down the field, Trey, for your new show?
What a great idea! What a great
What was that
idea.
song? It just came to me. Who sang that song?
and run it.
Oh, Tevin Campbell. Remember that song? Can we talk for a minute? Girl, I wanna know your name.
Hey, before we get to the shout-outs, I want a couple of things I want to say. Number one, Barfly Tailgate show. They did their show Sunday, and again, these guys are just
Bobby Bombs
doing something special here. Who the hell?
Fucking Gaines is on my shout-out
How
list.
about it? Who the hell, gets together and says, we're going to do a 3-hour show. 3 hours. None of us have ever done a show before. We're going to do 3 hours, and we're going to do...
Sounds like you and me and James.
Yeah, really.
3 hours. Try 4, fuckers.
Remember we hit the 4 hours. Remember that night? You're like, Phil, I got to tell you, we've hit the 4-hour mark. Sorry, Al. Go ahead.
But, we had a meeting with them this week, and we, Shane, Phil, Bears Girl, myself, we pointed out a few things about the most recent show that we didn't like, and, I led the meeting, and I was in my typical corporate self, picking my words carefully and so forth, and then we go.
I know.
Here we go.
And then we go around the table, and then Phil. So, what do you have to say? And here's a little bit about what Phil told the guys.
How tall are you, Private? Sir, 5'9", sir. 5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high. You trying to squeeze an inch in on me somewhere? Huh? Sir, no, sir. Bullshit. It looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as a brown stain on the mattress. Do you suck dicks? Sir, no, sir! Are you a Peter Pepper? Sir, no, sir! I'll bet you're the kind of guy that would fuck a person in the ass and not even have the goddamn common courtesy to get him to reach around. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece.
Those were Phil's opening words to Nikki and some of the other guys.
Yeah, the best part, Trey, was Phil saying,
"Oh, Jesus."
Nikki, I don't want to be. I'm not trying to be rude here, but. Bro, seriously, you come off like a know-it-all dumb fuck.
I like how he says, I don't want to be rude. And he says something completely rude.
Jerks him off a little bit, then he kicks him in the fucking...
Right when his dick gets a little hard, he kicks him in it, huh?
We're really putting this on the show.
Hey, you know what? Hey, rest in peace to that guy that played that drill sergeant, though, in Full Metal Jacket, because he passed away earlier this year.
A great scene. Oh.
That's what... That fucking movie is one of my favorites. I might actually watch that when we get off because that motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Sensational.
I was
bringing it.
Oh shit, he recorded that fucking meeting.
I thought he did too. I go, oh no.
I would not
Here
do that.
we go.
Legally, I cannot do that without telling everybody, so I would not have done that. But that would have been priceless. Oh my god.
He said what he said, he's like, what did he say? Look what we got here, a fucking comedian.
It's funny because we were talking with them and Bears Hour Live is coming, but in all honesty, we were given some great pointers and what have you. And then I had to get off with the guys and Shane and I stayed and Aldo had to prepare for the Corey Wooten was coming on and da-da-da-da-da. Long story short, the point of my point here is I get off with the guys, everything's kosher and clear, and literally I was about to get up to go to the bathroom and Aldo and BG are calling me for Bears Hour Live, right? So I go, I gotta just be me here. So I pick up the phone. I go, you motherfuckers gotta get your shit together because if you don't fucking get it together. If you could have saw Bears Girl's face, because I could see them both on video, she's like, she looks like she's looking at someone behind her, like he's still yelling at them.
Well, when Phil got off for the show, Bobby and Diddy and Nikki wanted to stay on, and I told them that if they had any more questions, I could talk to them. So we were on there for quite a while. But as soon as Phil signed off, I'm like, "Can you believe that fucking asshole?" Had to break the tension a little bit because they're all sitting there. And Phil didn't drop a fucking bomb. I mean, he fucking shit, and
Phil decided to chew everybody out, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
This was Vince Lombardi at his most devious and dirty and stuff. He went off on him, but and again, I'm not saying that to embarrass the guys from the Barfly Tailgate show, because I am in admiration for what they are doing.
Right.
It's just simply some little things that we want them to improve upon, and but the way Phil approached it, he took out the marker. You know how Bears Girl does the highlighter? No, Phil fucking took those fucking highlighters and just fucking threw them at them and stuff.
Listen, each one of them wrote me a very nice DM today. We needed to hear that. And honestly, guys, just because I didn't know we were going to talk about this, just like normal, we have no fucking show flow. We just go. So I just want to say this to them and all of our listeners. I believe in these guys. And Bears Barroom has an expectation of why we are where we are right now. And what you're going to fucking bring to the table better be ready to know your shit. And roll with it. And come prepared. Exactly. That's it.
We actually have some audio of Nikki when Phil went off on him. So, Aldo, you can add this here. You can do that fucking drop of that dude crying about Britney Spears and people picking on him. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
You got to put that in there right after I said that. It'll go perfect.
I got it. Oh my God!
We love you guys, but seriously, that show, it has its purpose and its place, and I believe the message has been sent, and we are bringing Trey's show. We got the Barfly show.
If the message wasn't sent last night, it's never going to be fucking sent.
Exactly. I mean, you can't get the coach out of me, Aldo.
No.
You think I would get my players ready and prepared?
Oh yes.
Exactly.
I'm afraid to be late when I pick you up at the airport.
No.
What? You're fucking 5 minutes late. I would never be 5 minutes late to pick you up.
No, I'm no Tom Coughlin.
Thank you. All right, we have been on the air for 2 hours, and we could do it another 2 hours, but I'm sure Shane is very grateful that we're ending at a reasonable time tonight. We've got a lot of work ahead of us. We've got Buffon 55 on Wednesday night. We've got the debut of Let's Talk It Out with Trey Bizzy on Thursday. We've got the Mike North Advantage on Friday. On Friday afternoon, Draft Dr. Phil arrives to Chicago, so if you see a motorcade going down I-94, it's probably Dr. Phil, Draft Dr. Phil, headed to the many destinations that he'll be at over the weekend, including on Friday night, he will be at Bill's Bar and Burger at 30 East Hubbard at 8 p.m. So come on out and say hi to Draft Dr. Phil. On Saturday, he will be at Buffalo, what is it called?
Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings.
Whatever it's called, over at the Old Orchard Mall. All of this stuff will be up on Twitter and on Facebook and on our website. So come on out and say hi to Draft Dr. Phil. We're also going to pop in at some other places throughout the city, and so we'll let you all know. So that way, if you happen to be in the area, just come on over and say hi to Phil and talk a little football. Talk whatever you want with Draft Dr. Phil. He's always ready to gab, but football is the topic that he most wants to talk with you about. So hopefully you're around.
I hope they come. If anybody wants to invite me, Aldo, Trey, and others to their tailgate on Sunday,
that's right.
We'll come out there and chop it up too.
Absolutely. If you
I like to chop it up, right?
Well, it's funny you said that.
Oh, you silly bastard! We got trouble.
We got a tweet on Twitter. Phil,
we have a tweet.
somebody named Sandman4414 says, my wife and I will be in Chicago this weekend, and at the Bears game, I got to meet you guys at some point.
Okay.
See, there you go.
Sandman.
We're going to... I hope we're not... I know some haters will call us the Three Stooges, but I think you know, if you listen to this show, we're the Three Musketeers bringing that Bears. I can't believe this is going down. I can't even sleep at night. I'm so excited to get there. Meet Aldo. I wish Shane, the money man, was there. It would be the cherry on fucking top. It would be like, you know, getting a Khalil Mack.
Aldo told me that if I was going, Phil, you were going to have to get a hotel room. So,
well, check this out. I am treating my man.
Here it goes.
I am treating my man, Draft Dr. Phil. He's going to spend Friday night here at the Gandia Castle. But because we're doing so many other things around the city and so forth, on Saturday and Sunday night. Saturday and Sunday, we will be at a suite at the Conrad Hilton across the street from Grant Park, within walking distance of Soldier Field. So we're doing it up. We're doing it up big time, brother.
I'm fucking ready. Yeah. I mean,
Tola
Portillo's dropping here as well.
Motherfuckers is going to be at the suite, man, getting some hotel pussy, man. What the
fuck? No.
Don't say that. Stephanie,
it's all about film.
Ooh. I guess I'm driving to Connecticut.
Creating strife in the family.
Motherfuckers gonna be eating red lobsters and shit.
Oh, Trey, I mean, you're coming with us on Sunday.
Crabs and shit.
I'm excited. I think anybody that comes out, I'm sure there's going to be surprises and stuff. Definitely want to meet you. Haters included.
Haters.
Come out.
Come on, man. Bring a peace pipe.
Yeah, let's piece it up.
Motherfuckers hate on Twitter. They don't say shit in real life, though. It's been that way for years.
I'll be there.
Way before the Bears barroom. Motherfuckers talk shit on the internet and don't say shit in person.
Well,
yeah, I'm gonna bite my tongue because, because I don't want to talk about the Bears brothers. But anyway, listen, what else is going on? So I will have the schedule out for Phil's appearances on Twitter. Let's go around and do some shout-outs. Who should we start with first? Shane,
the smartest man in the bar.
I know you've got a couple of shout-outs, probably to Stephanie.
I'm not going to do it for. I'm not going to shout out Trey for the third consecutive week.
Thank God.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna. Hey man, you gotta say whatever comes to your mind.
I'm gonna throw some love to. Well, I can't even throw it to Southwest Indiana. I got to throw it to Madison, Wisconsin, to Air Jers. I mean, we're talking about our meeting last night, and Air Jer called into our fucking meeting from his hospital.
Yes.
I hate to laugh, but you talk about a commitment. Maybe that fucker should be committed. I don't know. They're looking up on Skype, and I'm like, man, he's either baked to the bejesus belt or he's in a fucking hospital. And that's exactly where he was. Yep. So,
and he called in sick to the Tailgate show, and he told us before we went on the air, yeah, man, I think I might have to go to the ER later. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, why are you talking on the show? I'll be all right. But he ended up in the ER, the poor fucker.
Yeah.
A lot of people were sending me DMs that they thought Jer got sick and was in the hospital because he went to the Minnesota Vikings game. Got to see that putrid bowl.
Hey, I wouldn't have mind seeing the Vikings get their ass kicked like that. That's for sure.
Exactly.
You got fucking Josh Allen out there looking like a fucking prime Big Ben and shit.
Oh man,
breaking tackles and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
That's my boy.
I thought the Vikings was elite.
You got to see these fucking sponge baths I'm getting though, guys. That's awesome. I mean, granted, I'm the guy holding the sponge, but it's still fantastic.
Remember when George got caught out just going to visit his mom because that chick next door got her sponge bath at 3 something? You're not even here for me, George. What are you doing?
Oh, man. All right. Any more shout-outs there, Shane?
No, that's gonna do it. Air Jair, hope you're feeling better, and we want you back at it, and hopefully we'll hear you this weekend and talk some Bears football. So get better, brother.
Yeah, you're lucky fuck you weren't in the fucking meeting. Yeah, I had a couple things to say to you.
Get him a body bag.
No, all the best, Jair. We'll see you when you get back. Get ready.
Oh, my God. Trey Biz, got some shout-outs?
I'm about to pull a Phil.
Oh, you got a bunch?
Phil, your shout-outs is for next week, man. I'm about to take over.
I gotta do a couple.
Man, I gotta shout out Aldo, man. Like, he literally, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Man, he's helped put things together, man, for sure. Like, if it wasn't for him, man, Thursday definitely wouldn't happen at all. Thursday would just be like a fucking fragment of my imagination if it wasn't for all those help, for sure. I wouldn't have been able to do it.
Thank you. Well, you're underestimating yourself because I tell you this, in the short amount of time that I've known you, Trey, you are the type of person who will find a way to get shit done. I'm just one of the fortunate guys that I was among the first that you called, and because you had such a great idea, I said, I gotta help. I'm fucking busy, but I gotta help. This is too good of a cause and something that's dear to my heart because I've suffered from some mental illness issues myself and some anxiety issues, and people in my family and people, friends of mine that I love and hold very dear. So this is something that it's also a passion project for me. So whatever you need to make this work, brother, I'm here for you.
Man, I got to shout out my boy Zachary Cliff, man. That's the guy that did the beat. Mm-hmm. He's a really good producer. He makes his beats are, man, just one of a kind.
You have to throw me some beats. So
I'm going to have to send you some, Phil, because, man.
Hey, we could use a good one for this show, Trey. Maybe.
Hey, no, but on some real shit, though, man. Like, he's really good at that shit, man.
Does he listen to our show?
The beat on the, yeah, he has. The beat on the promo for my podcast on Thursday was made by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was.
I haven't heard it yet, so I'll let you know.
Man, you didn't watch the video, man? What the fuck, Phil?
Oh, the video promo.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought you meant.
That was awesome.
Mind. Yeah, I like that beat.
What the fuck, man? You know, my family, man, my mom, my sisters, man, my brothers, man, everybody's been so supportive. All my friends, people that reached out to me. I can't shout out everybody who reached out. I can't pull a Phil for real because a lot of people reached out to me, man, trying to help out with the show, man, trying to be a part of it in any way they can. I've had people reach out to me like, well, no, my mom works in the field. Maybe she could come on. You know, I got a cousin on my dad's side that's related to my brother. Like, this. Nice. Coming up, man, trying to help any way they can. So I do appreciate it, man. I'm trying to make it special for everybody. So that's all I got for now.
That's excellent. And over the coming weeks on your show and here on 100 Proof, you can give acknowledgement to those people by name. But it's great that you've got this outstanding support system, and that's how stuff usually gets done. All right, Phil, who you got, brother?
Well, I got to shout out Aldo as well.
Oh, 2 shout outs in one show.
Yeah, you're always prepared. You're always ready.
Always fake it.
And I hope you can. I hope you're ready for the Atoshin to come to.
But you come off as a dumb fuck guy.
Yeah. God damn it. Get yourself fucking prepared.
Fuck guards in the first round.
Oh, I gotta remember to do my little trade scenario. Go ahead, Phil.
But I also gotta shout out Greg Braggs Jr. We're gonna be going with him to the Cubs game.
That's right.
When I come into town, he's taking us to the Cubs game. I've never been to Wrigley Field.
You're gonna love it.
So that's gonna be an experience. I gotta shout out Sandy Tom, Matt Karstensen, writer at Bears Barroom. Curtis Hamende, the artist.
Man, he's good.
He's very good stuff. I really enjoyed that picture.
Mm-hmm.
Zeke, he hasn't gotten a shout out from me in a long time. I don't know why, but he deserves it because he stands up for Bears Barroom.
Mm-hmm. Time and time
Jason,
again.
Speaking of producers, Jason McFly
yeah.
with the beats. We haven't seen our boy Iggy Abunaway yet, so we can't even release that song.
Yeah.
So we get
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. That's an awesome song.
Yeah, I gotta shout out my buddy Jim Larison. I got nothing but love for Jim Larison. He's put out the Barfly shirt and is supporting Bears Barroom and 100% helping me in my journey, so to speak. So shout out to you, Jim. John Bradley, I gotta say this. I pray for this Barfly. They've had his son and things, in life. You face hurdles with children. I just want all the Barflies to just keep John Bradley and his child in your prayers and thoughts, because everything's going to be great with him and his family. And I just wanted to shout out John Bradley and their family. Dustin Reagan Badia, another guy who shouts out Bears Barroom, stands up for the truth. Ryan Cox.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Badgley, the Badge Man. The Gaines Report came on the Barfly Tailgate show. I was so impressed with you, bro. You brought it. You bring it 100. I got to shout you out. How about Brandon Janikowski coming on tap with Aldo? Like,
yeah, that was awesome.
He pulled a freaking sleight of hand, and all of a sudden, the Jan man was in the house.
Hey, let me
did
tell you,
a great job.
Yeah, he did. Let me tell you, when he first came on, he sounded like, this isn't going to go well, because he was just going. And I'm like, yeah, so what'd you like about the game? And then all of a sudden he like put it in gear, and all of a sudden it was a race car.
He was trying to get it in first.
I guess. He was awesome.
Now let's press the clutch.
I was like, okay, what do I fucking do now? No, great job, Brandon.
I gotta shout out Chrissy Armstrong.
Chrissy!
Writer of the show. Ronetta, Roro, always standing strong for my voice as well as the Bears Barroom. AC loves the Bears. Same thing.
We
standing up. And we got to get her on the show.
Oh, we've been trying, man.
I know. I got to talk to her.
Man, that one motherfucker tweeted at me, man, the other day, man. I checked his ass. He ain't say shit back to me, dog. He ain't respond to me for the rest of the day. I still ain't heard motherfucker.
Nobody likes a link.
That's right.
No, I'm just saying though, man. Like I'm not the type of person. I'm not the type of person to argue with a motherfucker online, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point? What's that song? You know?
Was that like a 5-year-old say something like that?
He said some shit about he want his balls licked or something by a man or some shit. I don't know what he's talking about.
So I told him, I said, I'm not sure why you want your balls licked by a dude, but hey, man, I'm not here to judge. So you.
His location say Arlington, so maybe he could go ahead and just head west a little bit, and then to go a little bit south to North Halsted in Chicago, and they can take care of him over there. Aldo gets that reference, but they can go. That's Boys Town in Chicago. There's a bunch of little spots over there that can take care of him.
My car broke down in that area once many years ago, and boy, oh boy, did I get a lot of guys offering me help. Hey,
everybody's
like a volleyball net around.
Exactly.
fucking one of these guys I worked with on the field. He was telling me how he stopped at a bar there. He didn't know where he was at. He stopped at a bar for like a beer or some shit. He was like, these guys kept talking to him. He said everybody was trying to buy me drinks. He said everybody was so nice.
When Aldo jumped on the hood of the Treek Cohen's car, I think Treek asked him if he was from Halstead, right?
That's right.
North Halstead.
Hey, man.
Look. Hey, Shane, there's Halstead and then there's North Halstead. North Halstead is where them dudes got a little extra fruit in their loops up there.
All right.
Who else
I gotta just finish this up. Ed Yakalaki the third. The guy is a fighter. He's fought cancer, I think 7 times.
Wow.
Just tremendous. Joe Moscone from Jersey, one of the monsters of the tri-state, loves the show. Tooch and the Goon, I gotta shout them out. They keep bringing it. I really enjoy what they're doing on that Barfly Tailgate segment, giving fantasy advice. By the way,
good, yeah.
I'm 2-0. I absolutely destroyed people. Guess who has the Bears defense? That's
Good
right.
Move. Good move.
I gotta say this real quick about Dan Aguirre. I'm shouting you out.
That's a great guy, man.
Dan is such a incredible human being. The more you do this against Twitter, like I found people to be great on Twitter, and then there's a few fucking scumbags, and you all know, and I think they unveil themselves, and sometimes I get hooked into it. I'll be the first one to admit, and I but I don't need to. I think you know what I stand for and what I do, and Dan is one of those guys that you find on Twitter that's an absolute gentleman and a great, honest person. He did something so kind, Aldo. Can I share it real quick?
Please do.
He took a game that I would never see because we talk about NFL Network dropping the ball and showing old games and what have you. But he listened to the show, the Bears Hour Live with my uncle, when Sam Rutigliano came on, and he, I believe, purchased Sam's AFC game, one of the to get into the playoffs or the championship. I haven't watched it yet, obviously. I've been so busy. But the reality that someone would do that and send it to me with no, I got to send this to you, send me the shipping. Do you want it was just sent to me in kindness. It's like just so blown away by that show and touched by it that he did it on his own, and that to me deserves a shout out. And when we talk about this family and the show and the places, I don't even realize how far we touch people's hearts and souls and what have you. This crazy show. I mean, I believed it, but then when you see it much like Khalil Mack, it's beyond belief. So I just want to thank you, Dan. That really meant so much to me that I can see it now. So I also want to shout out Chris Bowditch.
Wait, before you go on,
go ahead.
Let me show you something. You guys can look at the camera. Look at what I'm holding up here. I am holding up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are
DVDs.
Is that my mixtapes?
No. These are mine, thanks to Dan. He has sent me so many of the Chicago Bears games from yesteryear, the 1980s, that I have hours and hours and hours of fun watching to do it. This is like Shane's library, DVD library, right? Because you got all this stuff on digital.
Oh my God, so Shane's library.
Now I'm competing with you, Shane, and thank you very much, Dan. And Dan has contacted me a couple times and said, hey, have you watched any of the games yet? Because I want to talk with you about that. And I'm like, man, I am so effing busy. I can't get to it. But trust me, brother, I will, Dan. And I am so appreciative. This was probably the best 60th birthday present I got. Maybe the second, because I got lucky. If you know.
What was his name?
He was on North Halstead.
Khalil Mack was his name.
Oh, yeah.
I do have one more shout out, Phil, one that we forgot, and I got to give Bobby Bobby another shout out.
Is Bobby feeling?
Yeah,
I was about to shout him out. That's funny.
Yeah, he shared with us. He was at the Arizona game, and he was trying to walk up to people to get him to shout out Bears Barroom, and there was some skeptical people. You know, a guy walking up to him and wanting him to shout out, and they're like, no. So he tried some stuff to do. Well, he's got an iPhone, and on iPhone you can airdrop stuff. So he just opened that up, and everybody that had their airdrops open at the game, he sent them all Bears Barroom info at the fucking game. So I'm like, that was the best fucking free advertising for the barroom ever. So
a great effing idea.
Yeah, there was tons of them.
We got to think of doing at Soldier Field.
He recorded some great audio and video walking out of the stadium.
Oh, that was awesome.
Go Bears chant, and the whole time he had his airdrop going, sending people Bears Barroom stuff.
That is so cool.
Yeah, you guys will have to make that happen. Tampa game.
We will do that. What else you got, Phil?
Well, I was going to shout out the Barfly crew. Double A, Air Jer, Diddy, Lil Nicky, Mirage, Bobby. Am I missing anybody there?
Oh, those are the key guys. And
all right.
We've got the other guys who chip in with segments like the fantasy guys, Tooch and Goon, which you've already pointed out, and Badge. So, yeah, you really covered a lot.
Hit them all.
And
I hit them all.
I'm glad you did. A lot of great names. I just have one shout out. And this is, I think, a really good way to close the show because we like to argue about stuff. My man, Frankie Myers, sends me a DM and says, hey, next time Shane brings up this whole Quentin Nelson thing, point out to him that Darius Leonard, the second-round inside linebacker, is leading the league in tackles for loss. So, the question is, that I pose to all three of you guys.
No.
Would you trade Roquan Smith and James Daniels for Darius Leonard and Quentin Nelson?
Nope. Easy.
Phil?
No, I'm not there. I'm not there.
Trey?
It is a great question, to be perfectly honest.
It's a great question.
Leonard is playing fantastic, and
I love that kid. By the way, coming out, he was in my desirable series.
Yep. I interviewed him twice down at the Senior Bowl, and
I remember you saying, "Phil, this kid's body."
Yeah, and he had a phenomenal game in the Senior Bowl. And when I talked to him about it afterwards, he was like so depressed that he was not allowed to blitz because there's no blitzing for linebackers in that game. And so imagine if he would have been allowed to do that, he probably would have been a first-round draft pick. Great job by the Colts in finding him in the second round. I got to ask Trey. Trey, I'm offering you a deal. Quentin Nelson and Darius Leonard for Roquan Smith and James Daniels. You pulling the trigger?
No, man. No. It's only 3 weeks into their careers, man. Like, what the fuck?
Bear ball washers.
Hey, Roquan played very good.
Tell you what, I'm gonna go out on a limb. We'll revisit this in 3 years.
Yeah.
And we'll see how we feel. Fuck the first 3 weeks. Let's revisit in 3 years.
I'm totally with you.
I think so too. I can't wait. I'm gonna fly back to Chicago.
I mean, 3 weeks though.
We should put a bet on it.
My point though is that in 3 years the trade ain't gonna be on the table. The trade is on the table now, brother.
That motherfucker might not even be playing in 3 years. Roquan will be all pro in 3 years.
I don't know, man. Don't sell Darius Leonard short. I just have to see some more of Roquan Smith. And yeah, he's playing at a disadvantage. He wasn't at camp. I tweeted out, hey, Roquan, maybe now you get it. Miss camp, miss tackles. Get it? Because he still has some issues with that tackling.
James Daniels ain't even been unleashed yet, man. He's just sitting there in the playbook.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm excited about where the Chicago Bears defense is going, especially after the bye. But this Sunday, when Trey, Phil, and I are at Soldier Field, courtesy of the beautiful generosity of Jim Larison, we are going to see the Chicago Bears defense, I believe, dominate whoever that quarterback is for the Tampa Bay Bucks, and the Bears come away with a victory. Hey, let's just go around the table real quick and do some predictions. Scores.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to spin the bottle. It is Shane Marsaw. Give me a prediction.
Finally, he breaks the Glen streak.
This one's tough.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
not gonna lie. You know, you just don't know. I was I'll be totally honest. I was hoping that Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to lay down in the second half last night, and then they would switch to. I would rather face Jameis, all things considered,
me too,
than Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, Fitzpatrick is either hot or cold, but they got to rattle him. They have. I mean, Mike Evans is legit. And Deshaun Jackson, that speed is lethal, and it's gonna be a fun game to watch, but. At the end of the day, I gotta stick with my boys, and I'm gonna pick Chicago 24, Tampa Bay 17.
All right, I got it down. Shane, 24-17, Chicago Bears. Trey Bizzy.
Man, look. Fuck the Bears, fuck Tampa Bay, fuck the Pirates, fuck Harvard, fuck Fitzpatrick. No, let's stop.
Fuck Harvard.
Oh man, I think this is the game where Trubisky connects on a couple more of them deep passes. Man, I think it's, I think he's finally going to settle in just a little bit and connect on a couple of them. I think this might be the game where we put up like 30 and they get like 14. I think the Steelers defense did a good job in the first half against Fitzpatrick, and their defense couldn't hold our defense's cup. So Khalil Mack is going to destroy that motherfucker. So I mean, come on. So I think we're going to put up 30 and they have 14.
All right, I like that.
30 to 14.
30-14, I got it. Phil, what do you got?
Yeah, Tampa's defense to me is very athletic, and they have some very good interior players, as well as JPP can cause havoc. This is a difficult matchup, like Shane was saying. But to me, I'm going Bears at home, 27-20. 27-20 Chicago Bears, and it's going to come down to the final drive again. And we're going to be watching it.
Cody Parkey.
No, it's going to be Tampa driving to try to tie it up. And the Bears D is going to close it out.
All right, well, I am going to tell you that the Bears are going to win this game by a score of 20-19. It's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight that the Bears are going to win by 1 point. And I am also going to remind everybody that if they drink, please do not drive, and always bear down!
Bear the fuck down. Guess who's coming to town?
Fuck you, Andrew.
Sausage link.
That's a real Bears ball washer right there.
Literally.
That's what he wants.
From Andrew's window. You know what's funny? I just thought into window. To Andrew's. To the window. To Link's wall.
You just sweat dripped on my balls.
All these this bitch got funny. All these troll bitch funny.
Hey, man.
I gotta write this song out.
Motherfucker nutted up when I told him I don't argue motherfuckers online though. Like, man, if you want an issue, dog, I'll drop a location. You could drop one. We could talk about it in person.
He blocked me for my comment.
Did
he?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro.
Can you Google Maps your house from
My house, yeah.
Yeah, when you're staying in the suite, Phil, you gotta fucking Google Map it and tweet it out.
I'm gonna Google Map.
He might stay right around the corner from fucking Aldo. The guy's location say Arlington Heights.
Oh, really?
Oh.
They go to the same dog park and shit.
Jogging across the street.
That's hilarious.
Imagine that face off.
Stick a Bears barroom sticker on his doorknob.
That's a good idea.
Put on his wife's car and shit. Oh, wait.
That would be great.
She's probably got bigger balls than he does.
Jesus.
Oh, that was fun.
Hey, Phil, I had the Jason Lacafora music all queued up. What happened?
What the fuck, man?
I had the Lacafora rhyme for the smartest man. Let me read it again.
I thought you were going to have more. Go ahead.
Oh, he's the smartest man. He once got directions from a young Lacafora, but didn't trust him.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Every day. Yep. So many insiders. So many rumors that you have to wade through. There's one man with one eye. One-eyed man. You know him as Lacafora. He's Jason Lacafora. What did Jason say? Lacafora. He's Jason Lacafora. What did Jason say? Lacafora. He's Jason Lacafora. One eye. He's for Lacafora. He's Jason Lacafora. What did Jason say?
That's car karaoke right there, bro.
Oh my God.
He sent out a tweet the other night. Said, "Woof, Mitch Trubisky, just letting y'all know he's not even the best quarterback on that roster."
Jesus.
Oh my God. Jason Lacafora. That's how you end a show.
Hey, I think Trubisky about to be all pro now. Thanks, Lacafora.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whatever he says, go the opposite.
Yeah, really. Didn't he say something? Was it him that tweeted out something that there's some players that are upset with Trubisky?
Yeah, he's so.
Oh God.
His inside sources.
Him and Aaron Lemming share the same source. Did you know that? Hold on, let me wade the temperature of Twitter.
All right, fellas.
All right.
It is time to turn off the lights.
Turn off the lights. The party's over.
All right, Trey.
All right.
Trey, I'll give you a call tomorrow just to check in. And Phil, you and I will be communicating over Slack and Twitter and all that shit. And
yes,
Shane,
sir.
I'm going to miss you this weekend, bro.
Yep, you guys will have to document it all. Send it my way. I'll be on the road Sunday night going to get the old lady.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe we'll
after
put
the win
on Pinterest or something.
Yeah.
I'm bringing the selfie stick.
Oh no, you're not.
So
You're not
this-
fucking.
yes.
It's three grown ass men. What do you have a selfie stick for?
The wife sending it with
He's
me.
got
She's
4
like,
kids.
you gotta
I could
take
just-
pictures.
I could just
got
use
4
my arm.
kids.
My arm is long enough to be a selfie stick. You don't need a fucking selfie stick.
All right, okay. My phone is so big, the 6 Plus,
Oh my God.
that I have such a hard time. And I have a short arm.
Oh man.
Don't you worry about that. We got photos covered left and right.
All right. Well, I won't bring it then. It's making me feel like Andrew Link.
Man, you already sound like you be living in North Halstead or something.
I use the selfie stick to take pictures of my kids with me and stuff.
That looks nice.
It came out good.
Oh yeah, it's fine with your kids, but with 2 grown ass men, that's come on.
Say cheese, Trey.
Say cheese.
Flex, Trey, flex.
Say cheese.
Oh my God.
All right, fellas. I'm going to round it
All
up.
right, guys.
Talk to y'all later.
Later.
Have a good night.
All right, man. You guys chill out.
Chill.
Hey, this is Kyle Wong. Thanks for listening to the Bears Bar Room. We keeping it 100, baby.